This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Must be Monday. I'm moving kind of slow. I'm feeling down. Must be Monday now, baby. Turn on my radio. I need some sound. I'll need the greatest morning show in town. To help me get another rotten Monday off the ground.
What's today?
Monday?
Recovery Monday.
Monday?
Already?
Where'd the time go?
What do you mean Monday?
I hate Mondays.
Where'd the time go?
Mondays are the worst.
Oh, I hate Mondays. So begins another wonderful work week.
Wake up, El Paso. Buzz Adams is back.
Okay. Are you done?
Let's get back to work. Showtime.
Only on 95.5 KLAQ.
All right. Thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you for that introduction and welcome, everybody. It's Monday morning, and the Buzz Adams Morning Show is on the air. I was out of town last week on just a regular vacation, so you know how that goes, Joanna. Go see my mama. She's 88 now. Go to church with her a couple of times. Try not to burst into flames when I enter the church doors. Mission accomplished on that count.
I see you're back uncharred. Good.
It all went well. We got a lot coming up on the show today. Mayoral candidate Renard Johnson is going to be by. We're going to be talking about the race to be El Paso's next mayor. We've already had another one of the candidates in. Renard Johnson is going to be coming in today. And looking forward to that. While I was on vacation, once a day I would, you know how it goes when you're on vacation. Sometimes you just disconnect from everything, including the news.
Yeah.
So I'd turn on the news, and every single day it was like, no, you got to be making. There's no way. He made a joke about Arnold Palmer's, the size of his penis in front of a crowd.
Like do a double take. Like,
and I'm like, wait a second. There's no way this could be written. And I look it up. It's like, God dang, it's real. He danced on stage for 30 minutes for no reason. He didn't come back and speak more. It was just he danced on stage for 30 minutes. He said that he would possibly send the Army or the National Guard, but maybe the Army after The Enemy Within. And it was so funny seeing all of these clueless surrogates like his vice presidential candidate and all these others running around on the talk shows saying, when he talks about the enemy within, he's talking about foreign criminal gangs. And then Trump goes on Fox News on Sundays like, no, I'm talking about Democrats like Shifty Schiff and Nancy Pelosi. Those guys have got to be like, man, I shoot my credibility every time I go out on a limb for this guy. And then he just turns around and says the direct opposite of what I was telling people. So it is just a little over 2 weeks, almost exactly 2 weeks until Election Day, November 5th. That's why we're having the mayoral candidates in. Let's get a look at El Paso weather. Did you get some of that rain on Saturday, Joanna?
Oh, yeah, we did.
It seemed to be kind of all over the place.
It was pouring.
I'm going to say that the rain started about the same time the Texas game started against Georgia. Number one, Texas Longhorns, by the way, beaten by Georgia. I don't know if that's going to push Georgia up to number one, but hopefully Steve Kaplowitz will be in a little bit later to talk about college sports, the pros, the WNBA finals, the chase for the World Series. I think we now have the World Series set, so we're counting on a visit from Steve Kaplowitz from our partner station 600 ESPN El Paso later this morning. Let's get a look at El Paso weather. Since we did have that rain, it doesn't look like we have any rain, though, for the remainder of this week or through the weekend. Sunny or mostly sunny skies every day. And as I'm looking at the high temperatures, they all seem to be mid to upper 80s. There's one day there where it says it might get to 90, but for the most part, mid to upper 80s for high temperatures all this week. Winds light, under 5 miles an hour, so that makes perfect golf weather. And this golfer's forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com, or call their pro shop. The number is 915-821-2122. Let's make predictions, okay?
Okay.
Nico will be here before 6:30, after 6:30, or won't show up at all today.
Well, I have an update.
Yeah.
He will be showing up.
Okay.
He's just running a little late. He says, running late. Sorry, can you let Buzz know?
Okay.
This is me letting you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, because he had
So-
I call him now, starting at 5:30. I'm like, Nico,
Oh, you do?
you got to do a show. It's Monday. You got to come in
You
here.
gotta come to work, your place of employment.
You're late to work. Who gets a
You boss, I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch.
You know, he did real good last
Oh, good.
He was only out one day.
He missed an entire day.
He missed one day.
Can you imagine?
And I didn't have to play that song for the most part.
For the most part, he was here.
Yeah.
No, there's no way he was
4
here
out
at
of 5
6
days.
At 6 a.m. or at 6:10?
At 6 a.m.
6 a.m. All right.
Like we would play a
Oops.
song. Oh, watch out.
Careful. I'm sorry there.
We would play a song. He would get here. We would plan. And then boom, ready to go.
Joanna Barba is always here on time. She's always here early. In fact, she's working hard before we ever go on the air. And Joanna's going to have the Hollywood Cheesemay coming up later. Her look at entertainment news. What do we have coming up in the Hollywood Cheesemay?
Well, over the weekend, hundreds of One Direction fans gathered in London's Hyde Park to pay their respects to Liam Payne, who died last week. And I will let you know what investigators are now saying.
No, I was going to ask you what's going on with that. I heard he fell from a balcony or was pushed from a balcony or something, but...
Well, investigators are trying to figure out, was it him intentionally jumping? Was it him being under the influence and he fell accidentally?
Mm-hmm.
That's what investigators are trying to find now. And they're trying to figure out who gave him the drugs.
So they have definitely found
drugs.
I'm a few days behind on this story. I know he fell and he died, and it was not in the United States.
It was in Argentina,
It was
Buenos
in Argentina. All right. How many stories does it say?
I think it was like 3.
Yeah.
Enough to make an impact.
Yeah, that could kill you. So TMZ is catching some heat because I guess they put out some pictures that showed the body and including some of the identifying tattoos.
The tattoos.
I guess if you're so much into a band, you could recognize the band members by their tattoos. So people are saying that was very ghoulish of TMZ to put that up there.
Very much, yeah.
All right, so we'll cover that coming up in Today in Sound Clips. In the Hollywood Cheeseman. Getting ahead of myself there. I have Today in Sound Clips coming up here in just a few minutes. A whole lot to talk about, including a bridge disaster in Georgia and much more. Some sports highlights coming up in Today in Sound Clips. We'll get into that coming up in the next segment in just a moment.
The Daily Calendar.
October 21st. 10 days till Halloween, and you know what that means. It's Frog Day. Started by a guy in California who raised poison dart frogs, and now there's a convention that hops around the country. Because frogs. It's also Back to the Future Day for the movie that saw Marty McFly travel back in time on October 21st. It's Loud Shirt Day, but only in New Zealand. So what's your excuse, Bob?
Hey, that was me.
And Kiss Your Lizard. It's Reptile Awareness Day. And that's your daily calendar.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10...
33 early voting, so you can choose the location most convenient for you. Vote early. Visit epcountyvotes.com.
Oh, we're back.
Buzz is back.
Hey, right on, Buzz.
Buzz in the morning show. 95.5 The Q.
All right, we're set to get into Today in Sound Clips. Talk about a horrific, and it was fatal, bridge collapse in Georgia. Coming up in just a few minutes. Joanna, you know about this trip we're giving away to London to see Falling in Reverse?
Across the pond, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. Falling in Reverse.
Yeah, Falling in Reverse is coming to London, and you could be at Wembley for the show December the 8th. It's airfare for 2-3 nights, hotel stay, $500, spending cash. Could be, or do you think they'll give them that in American money or shillings?
You know what? I asked the same thing. Don't they have like a different currency?
Yeah, we're going to pay that in tuppence. Listen for code words to enter the KLAQ on the KLAQ mobile app Monday through Friday. We've got one at right around 10 a.m. So probably the next man up, Glenn, will do that one, right? At 10?
Yes.
We've got another one at 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. It's a code word contest, so listen for the code words, enter them on the KLAQ mobile app, and you have to go on the trip. You got to get a valid U.S. passport. If you don't have one now and you plan on winning this trip, you got to get one before December the 8th. That's the show for Falling in Reverse in London, courtesy of Epitaph Records. I got a Falling in Reverse joke.
Okay.
You ready?
All right, here we go.
When people go scuba diving, why do they fall off the boat backwards into the water?
I don't know. Why?
Because if they fell forward, they'd still be in the boat.
True story, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get to our first look at news. It's Today in Sound Clips.
And now, Today in Sound Clips.
All right, we're going to start with the catastrophic failure of an aluminum ferry gangway caused the deaths of 7 people on Saturday who were attending a cultural event on historic, and I don't know how to say this, so anybody from Georgia who could correct me, by all means, Sapelo Island.
Sapelo.
Yeah, off the coast of Georgia. 3 other people were critically injured and remain hospitalized. The aluminum gangway, which was installed at the Marsh Landing Dock on Sapelo Island in 2021, gave way in the middle of the wait boarding the ferry to leave the island. So let's hear a little bit of audio having to do with that. Here is DNR Commissioner Walt Rabon says the specific cause of the collapse still under investigation.
What I can say is that it is a structural failure.
All right. And we're going to hear from Mississippi Sheriff Willie March. Said that authorities are working to figure out what caused the incident that led to that collapse, claiming the lives of 3 people.
Still trying to determine what caused the altercation. Trail ride, because at the school there was the ball game, there was no problem whatsoever.
All right, so I guess there was a homecoming football game that did not cause the bridge to collapse. Back to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources Commissioner Walter Rabon, who says it collapsed quickly.
These celebrations ended in a tragedy as a gangway that led from the dock to the ferry collapsed, and approximately 20 people fell into the water.
Okay, so not the bridge itself, but a gangway. Rabon described how the gangway dumped 20 people into the water without warning.
It's my understanding that the structure collapsed in the middle. One end of the gangway on the landward side is still attached. I can't tell you exactly at this point in time what happened.
All right. Let's take a look at some sports real quick. The Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Mets last night in Game 6 of the NLCS to win the National League pennant. That means the Dodgers are going to be there. Here's the final call from the game last night.
Mets season has been a remarkable one, but it's down to its last out. This crowd, though, ready to explode, on the verge of making it all happen. There's a bouncing ball to second. Taylor's got it. Los Angeles is alive, and they're headed to the World Series. Dodgers-Yankees in the Fall Classic.
Now, this is important because if the Mets had won, it would have been what New Yorkers call a Subway Series. It would have been the Mets against the Yankees, and that's happened before, and they're pretty exciting series, but enough New York already, right? This way, it's going to be the all-time, I think, in my lifetime, classic World Series matchup is Dodgers versus Yankees, despite who I may be going for at any given time. When you got the Dodgers and the Yankees, that's like 1970s baseball the way I remember it.
It just feels like baseball.
Yeah, it feels more like baseball. That's right. Meantime, on the road in Cleveland on Saturday night, the Yankees beat the Guardians in Game 5. Here's that final call, winning the ALCS.
The Guardians are down to their last strike here. Here's the 1-2. Thomas, fly ball right field. Who else should end this game than that man right there? Juan Soto puts it away, and the New York Yankees have won the American League pennant.
The reason they were calling out Juan Soto there is because he had hit a 3-run homer in the 10th inning to give the Yankees that 5-2 lead that they took on to the victory. Let's listen to that.
Hunter Gaddis against Juan Soto. 2 hits tonight for Soto, a double and a single. Gaddis deals. Soto, a high fly ball to center. Thomas backing up. Thomas at the track. And Juan Soto!
There you go.
3-run home run! Soto magic in Game 5!
Sticking with sports here, let's do college football here real quick. A couple of great games on Saturday. So I was really rushing to get back so I could watch both of these games.
Okay.
You had Tennessee going up against Alabama. Here's the call as Alabama's Jalen Milroe was intercepted by Will Brooks of the Volunteers, sealing the win 24-17 for Josh Heupel and his Tennessee Volunteers.
Jalen Milroe fires, and it is intercepted. Will Brooks picked it off.
Well, this is the second team from Tennessee that has beaten Alabama this year. Vanderbilt upset the Crimson Tide earlier in the season. Joanna, does any of this stick, or does it just in one ear and out the other?
Sometimes words stick.
Yeah. Well, like what stuck from that?
Crimson Tide.
Crimson
but then
Tide.
It's my brain.
High Tide. High Tide.
Like,
have you seen that commercial?
No.
The guy's like, hey, make sure you know your team's slogan before you, like they're getting off the bus. And he's like, High Tide, High Tide. And the lady next to him says, it's Roll Tide.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah. All right. Final call as Georgia defeats top-ranked Texas. Texas going in as a number 1, Georgia as a number 5. Here's the call as Georgia, who also has one loss, defeated number 1 ranked Texas. Not even close, really, 30-15.
Rush comes. Ewers, desperation fling, fitting ending to this ball game. Georgia's pass rush pressure, the dominant story all night. It was Chaz Chambliss that time, and the Dogs are going to come to Austin and knock off number 1.
Okay, a few other stories that are interesting. I found them interesting anyway. A Massachusetts restaurant had to temporarily close and put out an apology after allowing actors, dressed in Nazi uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see this one?
We did talk about it briefly on Friday.
The actors were part of the American Heritage Museum World War II reenactment, so it does not sound, as far as anyone knows, that there was any actual Nazis in the group. But they went over and had dinner in their Nazi outfits. Here's Gary Louie, American Heritage Museum trustee, talking about this incident.
It's at a time when acts of anti-Semitic violence are on the rise, when neo-Nazis have taken to the streets. The Holocaust continues to be denied. So wearing German uniforms in a public space, that's beyond thoughtless. That's repugnant. It does not exist off the field, which is why there is strict protocols that the American Heritage Museum has regarding what to wear, when to wear it, how to wear it. And clearly that protocol was violated.
Some unidentified blobs have been washing ashore on the beaches of Newfoundland.
Oh, my.
Newfoundland is part of Canada.
Uh-huh.
It has been happening there for at least a month now. And when I saw the headline, unidentified doughy white blobs on beach in Newfoundland, you know what my first thought automatically was? They're also known as Americans.
That's the blobs you're seeing.
Those are the doughy white blobs you're seeing. Despite lab tests, no one knows what the blobs are. Here is a local of Newfoundland, Dave McGrath, talking about the doughy white blobs.
Doughy. Smells like a very strong smell of vegetable oil off it. I have.
Why he sound like Captain Jack Sparrow?
I don't know.
Why is the rum gone?
You know, Newfoundland, my friends from Canada have told me Newfoundland is kind of like unique in Canada. They're the only part of North America that is off the time by 30 minutes. You know how it's like 1 hour difference from each time zone?
Yeah.
They say Newfoundland is like at the half hour. And you know how we kind of make either redneck jokes or they make Newfie jokes in Canada.
Okay.
But yeah, let me hear this. You know who is from Newfoundland?
Who?
This is Frankie McDowell.
Oh my God, Frankie
coming to you live.
McDowell. I love him.
Doughy. Smells like a very strong smell of vegetable oil off it.
There's a very strong smell of vegetable oil.
Why is the rum gone?
Vegetable oil off it. I had environmental response, Coast Guard came out and took some samples there for a couple of days ago. And they haven't gotten anything back on it.
All right, don't know what it is.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
A Florida man is accused of trying to steal a generator that was powering a stoplight. I think he did steal it, but they went to his house and got it back, I think is how the story goes.
Okay.
So he did steal it.
Right, okay.
But it was a generator that was powering a stoplight that was damaged because of Hurricane Milton. So here we get to hear, Joanna, the moment that the man identified as Soyal Zapata Dai was questioned at his home and detained by police officers.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good. That's good.
Good. Yeah. Can you step out for us?
I'd rather not. I'm fixing dinner right now. What's going on? What's going on? What?
You're just being detained real quick, buddy, okay?
Yeah,
Some people might have witnessed you doing some things that we shouldn't have done, okay?
There's a generator on 674 that I saw that had no lock on it and it had no name on it, so I thought someone set it out.
Oh, yeah. I thought somebody left a working generator out just for anybody to take. You know how sometimes people leave an old sofa on the curb?
I thought it was take a generator, leave a generator.
Yeah, right. And a woman in Montclair, New Jersey, posted a video of herself tearing down a string of Israeli flags outside a restaurant, except when the staff walked out to ask her what she was doing. Did you hear the story?
Yes.
How does it turn out?
It's not Israel flag.
It's not Israeli flags. They found out that it was a Greek flag in front of a Greek restaurant. My question is, why this? If she posted it on herself, why did she do that? Is there any explanation for why you would? I
really just hate like her response when they tell her.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Oh.
Listen, here you go. This is we don't know the woman's name. Her account has now been set to private, but here she is bringing down what she thought were a string of Israeli flags.
I'm taking this down. What are they gonna do? They can't do nothing. I don't stand for this. There's genocide. I don't support it. This is not okay.
This is Greeky.
Who's this?
This is Greeky.
What?
Greeky.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was Israel. My bad.
My bad.
From the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony last night. Got a couple of clips here. And, this will eventually be on Max or HBO or whatever it's called. But in a couple of months. So, this is what actually went down in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. First of all, Peter Frampton was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And there was an album called Frampton Comes Alive that I must have played 2,000 times.
Okay.
But he's telling a story, Frampton is, about The Who, and Roger Daltrey was up there with him. When Peter Frampton first hit the scene, he was still a teenager, and The Who showed him kind of like what the rock and roll lifestyle was all about. Here is inductee Peter Frampton.
One night, backstage, Keith Moon and John Entwistle had decided to show me the rock ropes and take me under their collective wing. Every time in the Herd's dressing room, I went near the window and looked out, all the girls would start screaming down below. The next thing I knew, I was being dangled out of the third-story window by my ankles. I was 17.
That's Daltrey
Welcome
laughing.
to rock and roll. Come on, Cleveland!
Join us. Come on. No, you don't know this one?
No. Okay.
Well, you've been introduced to Peter Frampton.
Wonderful.
You got Spotify or iTunes or anything?
I do, yes.
The whole double album.
Okay.
Frampton Comes Alive.
Frampton Comes Alive.
Listen to it.
Wow, wow, wow.
Love it. Learn it.
Live it.
Live it. They're saying that Jelly Roll butchered an Ozzy song, so they had a band backing him up. Ozzy Osbourne was inducted as a solo artist. He's already in as a member of Black Sabbath. The backing band here is pretty much rock royalty. Zakk Wylde, Robert Trujillo of Metallica, and Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I thought he was doing a fine job. He missed like one note toward the end.
Okay.
So cut Jelly Roll some slack, you folks. Everybody, you know what? At least he's singing live. When I hear when I hear an artist miss a note, I know, okay, you know what?
And then people criticize, like, did you hear him?
Butcher that song? Hey, here's Jelly Roll singing Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Times have changed and times are strange. Here I come, but I ain't the same.
Okay, come on, join her right here. Mama, I'm coming home.
And times go by, it seems to be you could have been a better friend to me.
Come on, sing it with Jelly. Sing it with Jelly.
Mama, I'm coming home.
All right, so it says fast forward if you want to hear the flub.
Okay.
Oh, this just seems mean. I don't even want to do this. I like Jelly Roll so much.
Jelly Roll's great.
All right, here's the
Do we
part
want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day we've been apart.
Almost.
I don't care about the sunshine. Yeah.
Here we go. 'Cause Mama.
No, wait.
Mama, I'm coming home.
Okay,
right.
that wasn't so bad.
So
it was
he-
live.
He hit a sour note. At least you know
Right.
he was actually out there singing. And not
Right.
faking it like a bunch of these fakies do.
Those no good shysters.
Here's just a human interest story. The last full-size Kmart closed yesterday.
Aw.
Now, I wonder if that's including, there's supposed to be one that's not a full-size Kmart. It's more of kind of like a section of another store.
A small Kmart?
Yeah, like a smaller Kmart. the one-time retail giant known for its the blue light specials. When I was a little kid, I loved those. Before I even knew what money was, just the lights going off and whatever was for sale is like, Mama, we need whatever bait is. The store has operated in Bridgehampton. Where the hell is this? New York. Okay. It was in Long Island. Oh, okay. So the one I was talking about, there's a small Kmart that's not even really a respectable Kmart in Miami. It's kind of just like a side store. So this one is in Long Island, and they closed. Aww. Kmart opened in 1962. It struggled to compete with Walmart and Target. I don't know. I would say it held its own there for a while. It seemed like we went to Kmart as much as we went to Walmart and Target.
I loved Kmart
when I was a kid. All right. Luckily, somebody recorded the final announcements over the loudspeaker, closing the last full-size Kmart in America.
Attention Kmart shoppers. Today's blue light special is the store. Yes, the entire store. The hangers, the shelves, the cash registers, the floor, the walls, the roof, even Earl the janitor. I love to mop. Hey, I'll toss in the blue light so you can use it at home to hold your own flash sale on tube socks. And it's all yours for only $20. But hurry, much like Kmart, this deal won't last forever. Right, Earl? I love to mop. Thanks for shopping at Kmart. And also, why are you still shopping at Kmart?
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday...
It's more. Dublin Park Racetrack and Casino.
Keep it fun. Play responsibly. Need help? Call 1-800-572-1142.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers.
At GVILaw.com.
Got the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac coming up here in just a few minutes. Today is International Day of the Nacho.
Oh, a nacho.
Nacho Day. Got a few neckline calls, but we got a live call already this morning. And it's Stoner Guy. Oops. Hello.
How you doing?
There we go. Hey, how's it going, Stoner Guy?
Oh, it's going good, man. Dude, glad to have you back, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm actually here. It's not an AI. It's not like they made a copy of my voice, or did they?
Yeah. Hey, I hope you got like a real restful week, and you had a bunch of fun over there in Oklahoma, man.
Impossible, but go ahead.
Well, because it's about to get serious, man. We got 2 weeks before they start saying the stuff about either we knew we were going to win the whole time or the election was rigged, is stolen again.
Yeah. Even if Trump were to win, he's still going to call it rigged because he didn't win by enough. He didn't win by enough. And if he loses, well, even by his own rules that they did back in 2020, you know who certifies the presidential elections? The Vice President of the United States is the one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going to see what happens. Got a busy couple of weeks coming up.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Early voting, I don't know about the rest of Texas, but in El Paso, early voting starts today, by the way.
Word.
Don't forget to vote, Stoner Guy.
This call, though, the real point of this call is to welcome you back.
All right.
And glad to have you back, bro.
Right. Thanks, Stoner Guy. Appreciate it.
Dude,
we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
Good to hear from Stoner Guy.
Yeah.
I guess I was trying to make a point about early voting. Apparently, early voting has broken records in North Carolina and Georgia and other states. We're going to have the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events coming up here in just a few minutes. Let me give out our phone number. Stoner Guy called on the studio line. Let me give that number out real quick. Anytime you want to talk to us direct, you don't have to wait for your phone call. We go to the studio line calls first, and that number is 910-4995. 910-4995. Or you can call and leave a message anytime you like. That doesn't take any, you don't have to wait to do that either. Call the neckline and leave a message anytime, night or day. 844-805-NECK. That's 844-805-6325 to leave us a message like this one.
Hey, good morning, guys. Interesting note on Newfoundland. I never actually really knew much about it. I mean, I knew it was in Canada. But earlier this year, I think in March, there was a musical Broadway musical that came to the Plaza, which, by the way, I love the Plaza and I love the musicals we get. But anyways, there's a musical called Come From Away, and it was about the story of there was 38 planes on 9/11 when they grounded everything. And I don't know if you recall, when they grounded everything, they all had to basically land at their nearest airport. And this little tiny village in Newfoundland got 38 planes. A village of, I think, 600 or 700 population, all of a sudden had like 38,000 people. Not 38,000, I'm sorry.
3,800.
15-something thousand people, several thousand people. And the whole musical is about that. And if it's true, Newfoundland has some of the friendliest people on earth. Anyway, it's just my 2 cents. You guys have a great week.
I don't know much about that play, but I've definitely heard about the stories of somebody had to put up all of these Americans who were stranded in transit on 9/11, and they opened their homes to them. You know, obviously they didn't have enough hotels and motels for them, but yeah, good call. Appreciate that.
What's up, Mo Show? It's ODG. Hey, Buzz. Here's my progress report on the millennial takeover while you were on vacation. The first hour of the show was always best of. I'm guessing because Nico was late. And Alberto is still not opening his mouth when he talks.
All right. Thank you, ODG.
Jaw wired shut? It sounds like he's talking under mud. I don't know. What's up with that? And Joanna did not do enough honking noises or enough of her nerd voice. Other than that, the millennial takeover was great. Honk. Okay, doggy.
I know what your nerd voice is.
Yeah.
I've been that has been directed at me plenty of times. What's the honking about?
I don't know what the honking came from. I do remember one time I went honk, but I don't remember why I honked. But I guess people like my honk. Honk.
You got a badonka honk.
Hey, good morning, morning show. Good morning, Buzz. Welcome back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, hopefully you're back.
I am.
Glad you got that vacation. Glad you're back from being the Tulsa King over there in Oklahoma. Show's really, really great when you left, and Nico and Joanna and Alberto held it down, even though Alberto had issues with it. But still, it was a really great show, really great week. Overall, on the Nico scale, I gave it 8 out of 10 gold bars. 8 out of 10 as cargo, or 8 out of 10 gold mine. All right, guys.
All right. I'm not aware of this gold mine scale, but it sounds like he thought that Nico did a good job while I was gone. All right, good to know. And he referenced Tulsa King. Have you ever seen Tulsa King?
No, I have not. That's the one with Sylvester Stallone, isn't it?
Real quick synopsis. So he's a mob guy who went to prison for like 25 years because he didn't rat out the mob. So when he gets out, they don't have anything for him to do, but they also have to give him something because he kept his mouth shut, you know? He wasn't a stool pigeon. Probably he was trying to confess to all sorts of stuff, and they just couldn't understand. So they sent him to Oklahoma to run their operation. So the first thing he does is take over a legal weed dispensary. And it was okay. I could tell it was actually shot at Tulsa, but then for the second season, I heard they all decided, all of these Hollywood chumps decided to move it because it's too hot and humid in Oklahoma in the summer.
Oh, my God.
So they started filming it somewhere else.
They're
and
like,
I was just
Sly cannot handle it.
Yeah, Sly's plastic parts are starting to melt.
His face is coming off.
I appreciate the calls. Let's get to the Mo Show calendar. And we got to take a break. I'm sorry about that. We'll come back. We'll do the Mo Show calendar or possibly skip it and just do entertainment news because Joanna, what's your tease on the entertainment this morning? I knew I was interested in it.
Oh, we're talking about Liam Payne's death and what investigators are saying.
My nieces were very affected.
I think they
by
would be
this.
around that age.
They're around that age, right? Well, I want to know the latest. So
for sure.
All right, we'll have that coming up, and we believe Nico may show up in the 7 o'clock hour.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe give him a call.
Yeah. All right. Remind him again.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show on the way right after this.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Enjoy free 2 million items this holiday season, subject to availability. Visit HomeDepot.com for details.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
Coming up later this morning, mayoral candidate Renard Johnson is going to join us. Hey, Joanna, listen to this.
What is?
Cowboys, former Dallas Cowboys running back and Ring of Honor member Emmitt Smith will join candidate Renard Johnson to help turn out voters on the first day of early voting. So
cool.
You've even heard of Dallas Cowboy running back Emmitt Smith,
I
haven't you?
have, yeah.
What do you think? Is there any chance they'll grab Emmitt and bring him?
Both to come into studio?
Think?
That would be cool.
It says here that, listen to this. If you live in El Paso, there's a chance that Renard and Emmitt Smith might show up at your doorstep.
Oh.
They're going to be out knocking on doors on Monday. They will personally escort one El Paso voter to the polls to cast their ballot. All right.
Nice.
Emmitt is going to be at 2 predetermined polling locations for 30 minutes apiece, greeting voters and campaigning for Renard. So Renard's supposed to come by later today, but this also says that they're out knocking on doors, and I hope he makes it this time. You got the Hollywood Cheesemate coming up here in just a minute.
I do, yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the Mo Show calendar. Let's just kind of double that up since we didn't get to it in the last break, okay? All right.
October 21st is the International Day of the Nacho.
All the nachos you can eat.
You brought me a nacho.
Yeah, all the nachos you can eat.
Get some nachos.
International Day of the Nacho.
I am nacho.
This nacho.
Nacho! Nacho, man.
I guess today is
I want to be a nacho, man.
Nacho Day.
All right. Let's take a look at what else is going on. Today is Lung Health Day, Reptile Awareness Day, and I need your help on this one, National Witch Hazel Day.
Witch hazel.
Do you think they're talking about the thing they have in old men's barbershops?
Yeah, probably.
Or the comic strip, Witch Hazel?
There was a comic strip of Witch Hazel?
Yeah, she was a witch. Like in the Sunday, you saw she, because they have the comics in colors on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
She's green. You never heard of a comic strip called Witch Hazel?
No.
God, I wonder if they quit running that like before you were born or something. All right, have you heard of any comic strips? Hagar the Horrible?
Yeah.
BC?
I have.
You know all those, right? Kathy. But you never heard of Witch Hazel.
Never Witch Hazel.
That's weird. I wonder if that's a thing where they didn't run it in the El Paso newspaper.
Witch Hazel. Comic.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her, yeah.
Right, you've seen that somewhere before.
Yes.
Come to think of it, I don't think I've seen it in like 30 years. So, a lot of birthdays today. Country singer Kane Brown turns 31. A singer who is known as Doja Cat.
Doja Cat?
Yeah, Doja Cat is 29.
She's 29?
Yeah, Doja. And actor Glenn Powell, who was most recently in the Twister sequel, but also Top Gun Maverick, 36 today. Has this guy existed like all along for 10 years and I'm not even aware that he's out there?
No, none of us were aware.
Oh, right. He's showing up on everything. And I'm like, does everybody know who this guy is other than me?
Nobody knew who he was.
Thank you.
And now he's
hot
blown
thing?
up. Yeah, he's the next hot thing.
Glenn Powell. Kim Kardashian is having a birthday. Would you care to just take a stab at this one? How old do you think Kim Kardashian is?
42, maybe?
44.
44.
Yeah. Guitarist Steve Lukather, who was the guitarist for Toto. He tours with sometimes with Ringo Starr's band. He also did the rhythm guitar parts on Michael Jackson's Thriller. And we've interviewed him a couple of times. Steve Lukather is 67 today. And the next person on our birthday list, at one time, got paid more than anybody else on television. Do you know who it is?
No.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy.
Yeah, at some point, she had some kind of
my homegirl.
insane compensation package for doing Judge Judy. Judge Judy Scheinlin is 82 today.
82. Legend. Icon.
Dates in history, some important dates in history here. 145 years ago, in 1879, Thomas Edison turned on the first working light bulb. He did this at his Menlo Park, New Jersey laboratory, and that light bulb is still burning to this day. That's not true.
Oh, I would have totally believed that. You sounded so convincing.
It lasted for about 40 hours, though. And there is like a very early light bulb that has been at, I can't give you the particulars, but a fire station for over 100 years.
Wow.
52 years ago, in 1972, Chuck Berry had his first #1 record. The guy who kind of invented, in many ways, rock and roll, Chuck Berry had to wait until 1972 for his first #1 record. It was a novelty song called My Ding-a-Ling.
My Ding-a-Ling.
And 1995, Shannon Hoon of the band Blind Melon passed away. He OD'd on heroin. He was only 28. That's close enough. I put him in the 27 club because he was within a year of being 27.
Right.
That ought to count as well. But that was 29 years ago. And I start to... This is the point where I would have the music queued up if I really prepared.
Remembered.
Right. But so instead, we're just going to kind of sing No Rain. There's a girl in a bumblebee suit. There you
Girl in a
go.
bumblebee suit. Yeah.
She's standing in the rain.
Yeah.
Okay, look up My Ding-a-Ling by Chuck Berry then while you're at
I'm
it.
sorry, that's not in our library. So. This is straight from our stuff.
Pump up the volume.
Watching the puddles gather rain. And all I can do is just pour some tea for two and speak my point of view, but it's not safe.
I mentioned he was only 28. Did I mention cause of death?
Heroin.
OD on
overdose.
heroin, that's right. We're going to have the Hollywood Cheesemate coming up here in just a few seconds, but I just noticed something else on the calendar. It's, for those of you keeping track, it's 10 days until Halloween.
10 days?
Yes, you've got 10 days until Halloween. Have you seen all of the Purge movies?
I haven't seen all of them. I've seen some of them.
Right. Would you say you've seen most of them?
Yeah,
or?
probably most of them.
Did you hear they're making a new one?
Another one?
Yeah, listen.
This Halloween, from the producers of The Purge and The Purge Anarchy, comes an all-new Purge.
Oh. Ooh, I feel skinnier.
The Purge. Becky.
God damn it. Now I'm hungry.
Here's what critics are saying about The Purge. Becky. She gives me the urge to purge. It made me purge my Cheetos. I wish my wife would purge. When did Becky eat corn?
I'm not cleaning that.
This Halloween, see the only movie that makes you need a breath mint. The Purge. Becky.
Now my finger smells.
Rated PG for Pretty Gross. Now playing in 3D and smell-o-vision.
Buenos Hollywood cheese mix. Buenos Hollywood cheese mix. Buenos Hollywood cheese mix. Buenos, tell us more.
And here is Joanna Barba with today's entertainment news, a.k.a. the Hollywood Cheese Mag. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. When streaming became the norm in music, a lot of artists fought it. And how did that work out for them? Well, one of them is now speaking out. Maynard James Keenan thinks it was a mistake for Tool to hold out as long as they did, and said in a new interview with Allison Hagendorf, he has some regrets about it. Here is what he said.
We missed 20 years of reaching two generations of people to understand what it is that we do in a format that, you know, I don't like listening to the MP3 version of that thing. I listen to CDs and vinyl.
Yes.
But that's the gateway to get them into the vinyl and, and the CDs. And I feel like we made a mistake not being in on those mediums for 20 years.
He said that he saw the light when his son, who was in law school, realized none of his peers knew who Tool even was.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just because they didn't want to do MP3s.
Because they didn't want to do any streaming on it. Additionally, over the weekend, Maynard James Keenan paid tribute to Ozzy Osbourne at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Keenan will be out on the road in 2025 for the next edition of the Sesanta Tour, featuring his bands, A Perfect Circle and Pucifer, along with Primus. Hundreds of One Direction fans gathered in London's Hyde Park on Sunday to pay their respects to Liam Payne, the former member of One Direction who died on Wednesday after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Despite rainy weather, the queue to get in front of the park's Peter Pan statue, where fans were placing flowers, heart-shaped balloons, and letters in memory of Payne, stretched back as far as the eye could see.
Why the Peter Pan statue?
I don't know. I guess that's a famous statue in the park.
Yeah, probably there
and something about never
because the guy
growing
the guy who wrote Peter Pan used to go to Hyde Park.
Oh, so then why are you asking me if you already know the answer?
No. What's the connection to Liam Payne?
That's just where they were gathering.
Okay.
Payne had been open about his struggle with addiction both during his time in One Direction. After the band's breakup in 2016, his tragic fall came after the police were called on an aggressive man who could be under the effects of drugs and alcohol, according to a statement from local authorities. Investigators cited his cause of death as multiple trauma wounds and internal and external hemorrhage. The findings were released by the National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office. Additionally, the findings revealed that a series of substances were seized from the musician's room that could prove a previous situation of alcohol and drug consumption. Now investigators are trying to find out where he got the drugs from. A new take on Bret Easton Ellis's 1991 novel, American Psycho, is in the works, with Variety reporting that Challenger's director Luca Guadagnino is in talks to direct the project. The trade notes that the film won't be a remake of the 2000 dark comedy starring Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, and instead will be a new adaptation of the novel. Lionsgate Motion Picture Group Chair Adam Fogelson said, quote, "We are thrilled to add another elite filmmaker to our upcoming slate. Luca is a brilliant artist and the perfect visionary to create a whole new interpretation of this potent and classic IP." American Psycho follows a New York investment banker who leads a double life as a serial killer. The 2000 film also starred Willem Dafoe, Jared Leto, and Chloe Sevigny. The film's soundtrack was filled with 80s hits from artists like David Bowie,
Huey
Phil
Lewis and the
Collins.
News.
Huey Lewis and the News' Hip to Be Squared
Before he went too black.
played a prominent role in the film, but was removed from the soundtrack because apparently it was included without getting the band's permission.
I'm surprised you could do that.
I
think you have to pay it. Like I've heard him say, you never really hear any Led Zeppelin songs in movies. And when Scorsese put the Rolling Stones in Goodfellas, there was a thing about how much money you had to pay to get the rights to just use part of that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weird. And finally, the biggest takeaway from the secret lives of Mormon wives wasn't the gripping scandals or reality television drama. Apparently, Buzz, it was the fake hair. After the successful Hulu premiere last month,
what?
Their hair.
On what show?
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
What about their hair?
It's become a big hit. They are known as Utah curls, and they come from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. The viral style has become so popular that it has now spurred a wave of hair tourism in Utah. A stylist.
Look, we're gonna fly into Salt Lake City. She's gonna get her hair did, and then we're leaving that afternoon.
A stylist in Utah said that there has been an influx in demand for hair extensions after seeing the reality star's hair in the show. She claimed her inboxes on social media were flooded with requests from fans. She styles her hair into Utah curls often, and she added, telling the New York Post that the Mormon Wives extensions cost approximately $1,500 per appointment just for the hair. That doesn't include the cut and the color.
Is this a good example of what you're talking about? That's the Utah curl?
The Utah curl.
That looks like somebody tried to curl their hair, but they didn't know how to curl their hair.
Well, it is famous now. It has now spread beyond the Beehive State. In New York City, another stylist said that clients regularly named the Mormon Wives stars as their inspiration for their new cut and color. And an owner at a Texas salon called Root and Sage said that her clientele often referenced the Hulu series during the appointment.
Make mine just look just like that Bobby Taylor Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that her name?
It's like Frankie Taylor something.
It's three
men's
names. It's like Taylor, Ricky, Bobby or something.
It's something like that.
It's three names.
There's a Taylor, a Frankie, and I think a Paul in there somewhere.
I think I would speak for most men that I could not make it through one episode of this. I tried.
Probably most men would say.
I tried to watch it through, but what I really can't imagine is somebody looking at them and saying, I want my hair to look like that.
Yeah, they're like, give me the Mormon wife haircut. That is what I want. And it's become a huge hair tourism site now.
All right.
With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back here. Renard Johnson is going to be joining us. He's running for mayor, and Emmett Smith is in town to help him knock on doors and get out the vote. It's the first day of early voting. That's coming up, and we're still waiting for Nico to clock in. maybe this hour. We'll see. Oh, did you get an update? He's not coming?
No, I did not get an update. Did you?
No, you just said that he was going to be running late.
He told me to tell you he's running late.
Okay. Well, he could
an hour ago. So.
He could have driven to Las Cruces and back in this time. So let's take a break. We'll come back with more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show on the way right after this.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Jigsaw! From Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
All right, we've got phone calls standing by, calls that have come in over the neckline. We've got mayoral candidate Renard Johnson with just about 2 weeks left until Election Day. Early voting starts in El Paso today. The mayoral race really seems, by a lot of the metrics, to be between Renard Johnson and Brian Kennedy, who we had in a week ago. And also Emmett Smith of the Dallas Cowboys is going to be in campaigning for Renard Johnson today. So I don't know. I guess there's a non-zero chance that maybe Emmett Smith drops by when they come in. Have you?
Actually, can you talk amongst yourself?
Why
they're here?
Oh, they're
and
here.
I need to open the door for them.
Okay.
And there's no one else here.
Okay, but there's nobody else here. Okay, but let's not
open the door for them.
Let's not bring them in and get them seated
right,
yet, because we're just not ready for that.
I just need to let them in.
Sure, just take a moment for that. Okay. I will tell everybody about
do that.
Falling in Reverse trip to London. KLAQ wants to send you to London, England, to see Falling in Reverse. This would be at Wembley, the OVO Arena at Wembley for the show on December the 8th. Now, look, to go, you've got to have a a passport. If you have a passport, no problem. If you don't, make sure you have one before the trip, December 8th. And it's been so long since I've done the passport process, I don't even remember how long it takes. Airfare, here's what's included. Airfare for two to London, 3-night hotel stay, $500 spending cash. All that could be yours, as well as going to see Falling in Reverse. Listen for code words. So this is a code word contest, and we're going to give out code words throughout the day. The first one's at 10 a.m., then at 2 p.m., 5, and 8 p.m. Once you hear those code words, if you've ever played one of our code word contests, open the KLAQ mobile app, and it'll jump right out at you and direct you where to enter the code words. The more code words you get in, the more entries you have, the better your chance of winning. Falling in Reverse in London, and that is December the 8th, courtesy of Epitaph Records and KLAQ. All right, Joanna, are you back?
I'm back.
So Renard's here. Did it look like any former Dallas Cowboys might have been with? Oh.
I mean, Renard's here.
Okay.
It's nice.
Have you been following this guy that got the death penalty? And then,
Buzz, yes.
Have you been in depth on it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Tell me what's going on here.
Okay, so he was convicted of killing his 2-year-old daughter.
Like 20 years ago.
20 years ago from shaken baby syndrome. And then later they found out it wasn't shaken baby syndrome. She had pneumonia.
We're talking about, so there are a few other parts of this. We're talking about Robert Roberson, and it's always mentioned in all these stories that he's autistic.
Right.
And I was like, well, where does that come into it?
Because it does. I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, well, what is it?
Autistic people aren't more dangerous.
Right. But because they kept saying throughout the entire interrogation process, he just showed no emotion. And they kind of like...
One of the quotes from a first responder is, he acted like he didn't care.
Right.
So he has autism, and people are saying, no, it's not that he didn't care. It's just that he doesn't express himself in a typical way. Mm-hmm. So as far as shaken baby syndrome goes, that a lot of doubt has been cast on the entire SBS. It's called the SBS hypothesis, is that violent shaking can cause bleeding in the infant's brain. However, it's a controversial hypothesis, mm-hmm. and there is insufficient evidence to support it. And they're saying, including, here's the thing that gets me, that you've got the detective who arrested him.
Yes.
You've got lawmakers, Democrat and Republican, who are coming together and saying this guy definitely needs another look at before we put this guy to death, whether or not he's actually responsible for the baby's death. What else about the baby? They said if the baby fell off the bed.
I think it was off the bed, and then...
had been put on some medication that could have had something to do with it. The unified hypothesis, shaken baby syndrome. It sounds like it's really unsettled science. Let's put it that way.
That's what they're calling it, yes.
I can imagine you could shake a baby hard enough to do some
damage.
Some subdural hemorrhages or, some kind of hemorrhage in the head. But enough people from all kinds of political persuasions are gathering around saying, and I think what they're mostly saying at this point, hold off on the execution, which they did. It was supposed to happen on Friday.
On Thursday.
It's supposed to happen on Thursday. Hold on to the execution because you can't unring that bell, right? And let's look at this new information. In light of this information over the past 20 years, would this guy have been convicted? Would he have been convicted of the same crime? Would he have been eligible for the death penalty? If we knew then what we know now, right?
Right.
Is there any part of this that I'm missing?
No, you nailed it.
Okay. Somebody's calling in about this, but it's a neckline call, so let me grab that real quick. And I'm not going to keep Renard. I know he's going to go knock on doors with Emmett Smith.
Read the Wikipedia article on the guy. All right? The prosecution added shaken baby syndrome. 4 doctors verified that the deceased child had skull injuries. Okay? You don't get that falling out of the bed. You don't get it in 4 different places falling out of the bed. All right? The kids' surviving siblings said their daddy had a really bad sense of humor. Not sense of humor, he was a real prick. He beat his kids. He deserves what's coming to him. I don't care about shaken baby syndrome. You hit a kid, you get the death penalty. I don't care.
I got hit all the time. Define your terms here. I mean, I got spanked and corporal punishment. So, do you know this story? Hey, Nico, welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Do you know this story?
I do know the story. We were talking about
that sounds like a pretty harsh take on it. Then why is even the detective it sounds like you might know more about the case than I do, caller. But I got to assume the detective knows more about the case than you do. Mm-hmm. And he says they ought to pump the brakes on this one.
Yeah, he was going to get the death penalty, right?
It was Thursday was the red letter day.
This is the one Joanna's real into.
Well, because they kept putting it every morning on the news. So then the day of the execution, they were like, still nothing has happened. So he may be executed tonight. And I think at the very last minute, they halted it.
That and Joanna's into another story, Buzz.
Yeah, what's that one?
What's that?
The Las Vegas, who was the Las Vegas politician who's in jail from El Paso?
Oh, my God.
The guy
Reyes.
who shot the journalist?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Raymond Tejas' son, Robert.
It's Raymond Tejas' son?
Yes.
And he's some kind of minor official in Nevada somewhere?
In Nevada. And
some alderman.
Yeah,
right. Well, good for him, but he killed a guy who was writing negative articles about...
I got so into it on Friday.
Isn't he claiming that he didn't do it?
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying things like, I feel
bad, or
I feel bad for the family, but we have to find the real killers.
He's like, I will help you find the real one.
All right, OJ.
Renard Johnson is coming in here in just a few minutes. Let's take a call.
Did you miss us?
Yeah, I missed you a lot. For the first hour and a half of the show, I missed you.
Welcome to McDonald Trumps. What can I...
Oops, hold on. That's the wrong call. Hold on.
What, is this your first time behind the board?
Well, shut up.
Just a quick comments on a couple things. I wonder who in the Trump campaign told him to go to McDonald's, man. What was my boy doing there, man? Passing out fries and burgers? He looked like Ronald McDonald that had moved up and to corporate, and now he came down to visit the stores.
I've seen the memes.
Yeah.
I don't know who told him to do that, but thanks for the laugh, man. And another thing, today's early voting here in El Paso, and this is the first time I'm going to vote. I'm 46, and sadly I'd never done it, but I'm going to do it this time because...
He just got out.
This time this guy really scares me if he wins, man. All right, later.
Well, I think it's going to take people like caller. First-time voter. 46 years old, never voted before, but he feels like it's urgent enough now. This is part of a thing that Trump has been saying without evidence, that Kamala Harris is lying about working at McDonald's.
Oh, he said it, yes, at the McDonald's several times. McDonald's has already said that she never worked there. It never happened. Here's some fries. That's what he said.
Here's the direct quote he was referring. Robble. Really? She never worked at a McDonald's. What is this about of all the weird things to pick out? Oh, you didn't really work at McDonald's.
He's all, but look at me.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Welcome to McDonald Trumps. What can I get you?
I'd like a double cheeseburger and an order of fries.
Would you like a large fry or a huge fry?
Huge fry sounds fine, I guess.
Would you like to make that a tremendous huge fry for 39 cents?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Wow, a big, beautiful double cheeseburger and a tremendous huge fry. A big, beautiful fry. And Mexico's gonna pay for it. That I can tell you.
Excuse me?
Pull around to the next window for your order, and while you're on your way there, look at the big, beautiful wall around this McDonald Trumps. Tremendous, it really is.
While you're working away, we're working for you. our job.
99 costumes and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Interman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
It's just a little over, it's a tiny bit over 2 weeks away from Election Day, November 5th. And today's the first day of early voting in El Paso. And we're talking mayoral politics here with candidate Renard Johnson. Hello, Renard.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Well, I was kind of halfway hoping that Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor member Emmitt Smith would already be here and come in with you.
You should have seen the disappointment on your face when I walked in.
It just fell, and it was just you.
Yeah.
But Emmitt is going to be in town, and do I understand this correctly? He's going to go knock on a few doors with you?
Yeah, so Emmitt Smith, he's been a friend of mine for many years, and he reached out and said, "Hey, Renard, how can I help the campaign?" And I said, "Well, there's a lot of Cowboy fans in El Paso, Texas. Why don't you come out and knock on some doors and drum up some excitement?" So he's coming to town. He'll be here this morning.
He'll be with you. You'll be going with him knocking doors. Also, somebody's going to get to go to the polling station with Emmitt and Renard in tow.
Yeah, so we're going to go knock on some doors this morning. And we'll knock on a few, hopefully, Cowboy doors. And then he'll...
not as many Niners or Steelers doors, but you never know. I mean, at this point, Emmitt's beloved by everybody. Right?
Yeah,
I think Emmitt's one of those guys everybody can get behind and say, you played against us, but...
Yeah. But, I think it's super cool that he's coming to town. And what he's doing is bringing awareness for voting, early voting, and making sure that everyone goes out and votes. I mean, so I'm excited that he's going to knock on some doors, and I think he's coming outside his comfort zone to do that and show his support. But he has a huge love for El Paso. He's been here a number of times.
He was on the team when they came and played like a scrimmage in front of the Super Bowl, and we had like the biggest turnout at the Super Bowl. So he saw how El Paso turns out for the Cowboys.
Exactly. And you know what most people forget, though, Buzz? He won Dancing with the Stars.
I do forget that. I'm sorry. Of all the Super Bowls and things he won, Dancing with the Stars always slips my mind.
Yeah, it's one of those images you don't want to have Emmitt Smith in tights,
Let's talk about a few positions, and I'm going to get into it this way. We had your opponent, Brian Kennedy, council member Brian Kennedy, in. It seemed like he very much positioned his campaign and himself against the moneyed interest. So let's talk about we do have moneyed interest, but they've been doing a lot of great things. You look at downtown, they've made some improvements. So I don't want to cast them as completely the bad guys, but if Kennedy is running as the anti-moneyed interest, where do you stand on that?
That's a great question. Let me tell you a couple things. So I completely underestimated what it took to run for mayor and the cost. You got to have yard signs, you got to have staff, you got to have radio, you got to have TV, you got to have
you're paying nothing for this, by the way.
Well, thank you so much. But it costs money to run for mayor. And, you need, I got over 500 supporters that have given me as little as $9.15. Mm-hmm. And then I have some donors that have given me much more. And when we talk about the interest, first of all, it's not a crime to be a business person.
No. It's not a crime to have done well in life.
Exactly. And let's take one of my donors. Let's take the Hunts. The Hunts have helped support the campaign, and when you look at their foundation has given back to El Paso over $157 million. So that's a lot of money, that they put back into our community. So I'm very thankful for the over 500 supporters that I do have, and And Buzz, I'm giving back my salary.
But you have more than 500 supporters. You're talking about
donors
who have donated.
Yeah,
right?
That's correct. Yeah. But I'm super proud of the campaign we've ran to date, and and I'm the only candidate that's given back my salary. So it's no one with any money is going to get me to do anything that I don't want to do. So money doesn't do it.
Arenas, we're at a crossroad with arenas. They want some upgrades at the Sun Bowl. It probably needs it. Yeah. Somebody wants to do something at Cohen Stadium, an indoor-outdoor multi-purpose venue. Then you got the multi-purpose downtown center. It seems like all of these are kind of competing right now. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so, a couple things, So we've got the bond that the county's going to put out to renovate the Coliseum you just mentioned. You talk about the multi-purpose.
Well, yes, I left the Coliseum out, but they're going to renovate the Coliseum.
Yeah, but when you talk about that, I can tell you, we struck a deal with a company called Notes Live, and I don't know what the name of them are today, for the Northeast Amphitheater. And if you go by there today, guess what? There's no construction.
Yeah. I haven't noticed anything going on.
Yeah, I'm from the Northeast, so
Okay.
I go
drive
out there.
by every day.
I go back.
probably, yeah.
Well, I mean, my parents are still there, so I go out there and see them. But nothing's happened. But I think El Paso, for the city our size, we are lacking a convention space, a modern convention space. We do have a convention center, but if you want to attract more events, if you want to attract, track meets, bull riding. I think the feasibility studies will show that El Paso has an appetite for an arena or a multi-purpose center, between the 8,000 to 12,000 seats.
All right. So you brought up rodeo. That we do have rodeo and bull riding and stuff at the Coliseum, and that seems to be kind of the right size venue. It seems like there's enough seats for everybody. In addition to the upgrades to the Coliseum, you're talking about some other footprint or some other place that you would be. But where is that? Who are you talking to, and what's the plan?
Yeah, so here's the if we so some of these buildings and some of these venues have lived their useful life, and when I talk about track meets, you can't run a track meet inside the Coliseum. It just ain't gonna happen.
Right.
And UTEP facilities are used primarily for UTEP athletics. So we just had a convention here, Buzz, at the our convention center for the Texas Democratic Convention.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady that put it on told me, Renard, 3,000 is the maximum you can have at your convention center. And here's why. She said your air conditioners were going out and people couldn't keep up. They were passing out because of heat. I said, okay, why didn't you
fix them air conditioning?
Yeah, and then spill over into the Abraham Chavez. One thing that I did learn is that you cannot use the Abraham Chavez for events like that because it's not ADA compliant. So, is it 3,000 seats? That's what our convention center can do. But I think the real question is, we are a major city in Texas. We're a major city in the United States, and we have no major convention space.
Can you narrow it down from there? What part of town would you like to see?
So
that?
I think that's a fair question. So I think, Buzz, that the downtown is the front door to your community. I think downtown spurs economic development through the rest of the community. So I would be an advocate of placing something in downtown El Paso.
Well, we voted on that in 2012, and it's 2024.
Yep.
That's 12 years later.
Yep.
We ran up a lot of bills, but we didn't build anything.
Yeah, and the good news is there's a bunch of guys in office right now that didn't get it done. So I agree. So if
you're going to get the downtown multi-purpose arena done.
So
you're going to put all your efforts into getting it done.
Here's what we should have done. So anytime the voters say, we want the multi-purpose center in 2012, when the voters wanted that done.
Well, did the voters want it done, or was it kind of tacked onto this baseball thing and there was a little arm twisting going on? Let's be honest about it.
I think they voted for it. So.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So they voted for it. And at that point,
vote for it or else kind of seemed to be the message, as I recall.
Yeah. So once you vote for it, I think it's the city government's charge to get it done. So what I would have done different, Buzz, is, you had $180 million back then, and you got to go out and look at naming rights. You got to look at sponsorships. You got to look at public-private partnerships. So those are the things we should have done to see how much money we have. And if we don't have enough, you got to go back out to the voters and say we don't have enough.
I've heard it said by the current mayor and by your opponent that $180 million was not even half of what was needed to do that project.
Yeah, and again, 2012, it might have been. We don't know. I mean, inflation gets in the way, and it's 2024 and it didn't get done. So again, I'm a proponent of the voters' will, and what the voters say, you got to get done.
I'm reading through some of your endorsements here. Former Mayor John Cook. You've got state senators. Is there an endorsement from an individual or organization that you're especially proud of?
Oh God! So I
don't want to put you on the spot because now you don't want to leave anybody out. It's like accepting an Oscar award, right?
Yeah. What's your favorite kid? So they're all my donors are good, and I appreciate every last one of them. And I've got a broad range of support, from the community, both Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Everyone, has rallied around the campaign and the mission
the mayoral race is not
it's nonpartisan.
It's nonpartisan,
yep,
right?
Nonpartisan.
So, it's never explicitly said unless the mayor decides to say it. Correct. I am a proud this or I am a proud that.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Would you like to identify yourself by any of those labels?
I'm going to be the mayor for all the people. So that's what I'm doing. And again, we've got broad support from the community. And I'm super excited. The cross-section, there's a momentum going. And, for the campaign and for Renard, what we want to do and our vision, So, Buzz, we're the 6th largest city in the state of Texas. We are number 22, 23 in the nation.
I think we're undercounted, too.
But, you know what our badge of honor is?
Safest city in America is one of the great ones, I think.
You got the number 1 highest taxes. That's your badge of honor.
Okay, well, that's not good. That's not a badge of honor at all, Renard.
Exactly.
Come on, you did a switcheroo on me.
Yeah, I had to,
We have higher taxes than they do in Houston, San Antonio, or Dallas.
That's exactly right.
Well, something's wrong there. How we get those taxes down? You got a plan for that?
I do. So, the only way you can do that is you got to offset the residential taxes with the commercial base. And right now, 70% of that tax falls on the residents and 30% falls on the commercial. If you look at a city like Austin, Texas, it's just the reverse. You have 70% that falls on your commercial base, 30% on your residents. The only way you can do it, Buzz, is you have to bring commercial industry into El Paso. You have to go out and recruit companies to come here.
And you do that with tax cuts, abatements, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so incentives is something, you got to look at. If someone's going to come to town and they're going to bring, 500 to 1,000.
Well, I've always thought it's worth paying $5 to make $20. So if that's the scenario we're looking at.
Don't disagree.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree either. But I don't think everyone needs incentives. I hate to pick on companies, but let's pick on, we're just going to hypothetically pick on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure Amazon needs incentives.
Because they're such a valuable company. And
we need jobs. If you're going to come in, you're going to be, keeping our youth in town and you're going to providing them a competitive wage, then we'll look at it. But you don't need to give everyone incentives. El Paso is a beautiful city. People are going to come here anyway.
So early voting starts today. If Renard Johnson shows up on your doorstep with a person you recognize, it's Emmitt Smith. Don't embarrass yourself. It's Emmitt Smith. He's in the Ring of Honor for crying out loud.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be shocked when we knock on someone's door and Emmitt's there. And,
oh my God! It'll be like when they used to bring the giant check to people, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be that kind of response.
The clearinghouse. Yeah.
All right. Well. We got 2 weeks left here in the election, and that's for across the board, not just the mayoral election. So, I've been hearing there's a lot of early voting numbers coming out of places like Georgia, North Carolina. I'm interested to see Texas, but specifically El Paso. A lot of people get out and vote right away on the first day.
Yeah, so today, as you mentioned, is early voting, so make sure you go out and vote. We will be at Marty Robbins voting today, this morning. I'm taking Emmett out there.
Yeah.
And we'll be at the courthouse today as well. And then he has a luncheon that he's going to attend. But we are going to get some excitement around early voting in El Paso. And again, the message is, we just want you to get out and vote. I think it's very important that you get out and vote and put in office who you want to elect, and there's a lot of candidates. There's 8 of us running for mayor. We have 6 city council seats that are currently open. Right. But again, I want to go back to kind of my platform. I'm the mayor for the future, Buzz. I want to do good things for El Paso. I don't want to be stuck with these taxes either. And what most people forget is I'm a taxpayer, just like you guys. Yeah. And my taxes are too high. So we have to figure out a way to lower them. You talked earlier about the multi-purpose center. Keep in mind, we went out and we sold hotels and restaurants and bars downtown that invested in our downtown, and there's no multi-purpose center down there. So they made the investment. So
they've done a great job with the ballpark.
Absolutely.
I mean, even people who were skeptics at the time, and I was probably one of them, would say they did a quality job with that baseball arena.
They did. Won awards. I mean, and I enjoy going to the ballpark. You know, I enjoy what it brings and the excitement and the energy, and we can do more. And El Paso deserves more. You know, at one point we were the same size as, you know, Phoenix and Austin. And look at us now.
I remember Austin, then I remember when Austin went around us.
Yeah,
You know, but they were really attracting a lot of these businesses that employed a lot of people and paid good living wages for the jobs that they brought in.
I need to put you on the campaign because that's my speaking point. That's exactly right.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll talk again before Election Day.
Sure.
I know you're busy today, knocking on doors, pounding the pavement, so forth.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah,
though?
sure.
Next time I come in, don't look so disappointed that I'm not Emmett.
Well, you know, next time maybe you're going to bring Toy Eggman in for all I know. So
Or Dax, or you name who you want, and I'll work on it.
All right, thank you. Renard Johnson for mayor, and Renard for 915 is where a lot of people can find your positions
Renard
online.
for 915.com.
All right, thanks, Renard. Let's take a break. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show coming up right after this.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock. All
Done with up to 4 online bath at the Home Depot. Subject to availability. Visit homedepot.com for details.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
All right, Nico Jimian snuck in through the side door, I think, and is here going to do news in just a minute. You want to tell me about the week while I was gone?
Yeah.
I've gotten a few calls.
What did they say?
Well, let me play, just a typical one, okay?
Sure.
What's up, Mo Show? It's ODG. Hey, Buzz. Here's my progress report on the millennial takeover while you were on vacation.
What, are you already assuming ODG is going to roast you over the job you did while I was gone?
Yes.
Yeah.
What else would he be calling for?
The first hour of the show was always best of.
That's a lie.
I'm guessing because Nico was late.
Lie.
And Alberto is still not opening his mouth when he talks. Is his jaw wired shut?
That's funny.
It sounds like he's talking under mud. I don't know. What's up with that? And Joanna.
What?
Joanna did not do enough honking noises or enough of her nerd voice.
Okay. This is the second time I've heard about your honk, and Nico seems to recognize what it was.
Do you remember why I honked?
Were you
I have
honking?
no idea, but ODG left tons of neckline calls. First of all, buddy, it was a great week without you.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's what I want to hear.
Even Tuesday when Nico didn't show up, I still managed to do it.
Joanna did her thing.
How do you pull a no-show on Joanna like that on the week that I'm gone?
I don't know what I did to you, Nico. But
It was, she really hurt me that day.
ODG said,
I'm willing to win your love back, honey.
ODG said the first hour of the show was best of, and I heard you say no.
Well, that's not true. Yeah, it's not true. And second of all, Joanna, Buzz was saying that he heard I botched the Soul Asylum.
You asked me,
interview.
what did you hear about the Soul Asylum? I said, well,
I didn't know that was
I
going to be
heard
the one thing.
one account that somebody says you botched the Soul, like you didn't know who they were, and you didn't know
No, I
anything about
gave
the band.
him a really good prep sheet to go with it.
I had enough prep for sure. Fine.
Yeah.
They were just tough to talk to.
But
They were tough
Buzz
to talk
Adams, nobody can pull words
Right.
out
Nobody
of a
can do what
musician
you
the way
can do,
that
buddy.
you can.
Well, hold on a second. I'm not telling you to say this.
I know you're not.
you don't have to. I think we kind of know you have to say it, but
I don't know. I kind of think my interview skills are fair.
Very,
Yeah.
very good.
But you
Very
say
good.
very good. Okay.
yeah, very, very good.
And you're saying this because Soul Asylum was here and you botched the interview?
He didn't botch it. If anything, a lot of people thought he did very well.
Oh, good. No,
Considering
that's fine.
You should have heard the Josh Radnor one. That one was good.
I kind of want to hear it. You guys should have really leaned into how disappointed you were in the finale. Did you do that?
No.
I would have.
No, I know you would have. I
I don't
appreciate
even- I
Nico
never-
not bringing
Hey,
it up to Josh.
Hey, I never watched a single episode of How I Married Your Mother. Or
How
whatever.
I Met
How
Your
I Met Your
Mother,
Mother.
you
Well, you wouldn't have had a good
swine.
interview. Yeah.
He
no,
was great.
I would have done the requisite research to do a good interview.
And you know what else?
I'm not-
Eric Roberts was really great.
Oh, man. Did I miss Eric Roberts,
Yes,
too?
you
Buzz,
did. And he was amazing.
If you're saying that I didn't do the requisite research for Soul Asylum, I totally had the research and everything there for them.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that wasn't the breakdown. You were prepared.
He was very
It was
well
Dave
prepared.
Pierner, a grizzled older rocker who was like, ugh.
You know who would have related a lot to
Dude,
Dave
that's
Pierner?
90%.
Buzz Adams.
Yeah,
And
right.
they could have grunted about the same thing in agreement.
Kids these days.
Yeah.
Although I will say, reports came back from the show. Apparently, they threw an amazing show.
Oh, yeah. But it was
at
like
Lowbrow.
badass.
Yeah, they've been out there doing it a long time. I'm
So-
sorry I missed all those interviews. Well, not the Josh Radnor. I really don't know.
Josh Radnor was great.
Dude, Eric Roberts talked to us about Coretta Scott
my
King and Martin
God.
Luther King
He was so cool.
I mean,
I love him.
that's cool, but
being
why?
his babysitters and
Martin Luther King. Yeah,
Yes.
I'd heard that. I heard that about Julia Roberts.
Not only that, he was talking about
Well,
his
duh,
kids, how he was
that's
like
her
really
brother.
good friends with the kids still. Martin Luther King's kids.
Yeah. Did he talk about burying the hatchet with his sister Julia?
Oh yeah, we talked about that. We talked about his
talked about
drug
Dancing with
addiction,
the
Dancing with the Stars,
Stars.
Mickey Rourke being his best friend.
Yes. Oh,
God, those
so
two
good.
walking into a bar, I'd clear out, man.
I know. I forgot to press record.
No.
And then
No, I
Buzz-
can't hear.
Buzz
I can go
Adams-
back and get it off the air check, though, right?
No, we
The
didn't
hell,
record
man.
at all. And it was at the end, Miko and I
Duh.
are high-fiving each other. We did so good on that interview.
Wait. Did
and
you
then
have
the
to?
look
Did
on
it ever?
Miko's face
Did
when
it
he's
ever
all
air?
no.
You recorded it off air.
It was supposed to be a off-air record.
It was at
And-
10:20 in the morning.
And so I have to use your computer station, which has 3 different monitors, and I have all these different things up from the audition
Okay,
to
well,
the
now that
research.
sounds like a botched interview. If
well,
you did
'cause
an interview and didn't record
yeah,
it,
that one, that
one you
one's
botched.
botched for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Soul Asylum,
God, here we go.
Soul Asylum was fine.
Get this started.
I mean,
as fine as it can get.
I'm not sure it sounded great. Yeah.
Let's get to some news headlines. Here is Nico Adjemian with your 8 a.m. news. Good morning, Nico.
Good morning, Buzz. Did you miss us?
Sure did.
Joanna, I just found something out from Buzz.
What's that?
So remember when last week we called Buzz up to get a status update and we were talking to him, and
Yeah.
then
you sounded annoyed with our friendship.
yeah, right, and we kept saying, because we brought it up on air a bunch, oh, we talked to Buzz, but he sounded annoyed with us.
Yeah.
You guys were calling it Buzz, come back. We miss you.
Were we doing
No,
that?
we were
I
not.
don't think we
were
did that.
calling to be hey, and then you had to come out and be oh, it's not so easy running the
Yeah,
board.
it's not so
is it?
easy, huh? The job's not so easy, right?
So I make it look easy, huh?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
you did.
Oh,
So,
all right.
Joanna, it turns out Buzz thought that we were on air doing something to him.
I looked at the clock. It seemed like you guys might have been trying to do an
Oh,
on-air
he
bit.
thought we were pranking him or something.
Yeah, we're messing with it. We weren't, though.
We weren't. This was in the commercial break. We were just let's call up Buzz and see what he's up to right now. And then you were annoyed by our love.
You were so annoyed by our love.
Well, I think you were going to record me, and I thwarted that. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you did great. Now we'll never call to tell you we love you again.
Good. I'm uncomfortable with that.
Sucks for you.
All right, what's
let's
going
get
on in
into
the
it.
news?
Well, Treehouse Foods is recalling dozens of store brand frozen waffles sold at Walmart, Target, Harris Teeter, Publix, Food Lion, Tops, and more over concerns of listeria contamination. The company issued...
Are they Egos?
No, waffles. It just says frozen waffles.
Okay. Well, Egos are frozen waffles. I have some of those at my house.
They are technically frozen waffles. Well, they're Egos. I don't know. There's been no confirmed reports of illness linked to the frozen waffles yet, but the company issued the recall voluntarily and says that routine testing showed at one of its manufacturing facilities there was a listeria contamination. Treehouse Foods is asking anybody who's purchased the products to include it in the lengthy list on their website to throw them out or return them to the retailer for credit.
What a great sales technique. Sell a bunch of products and then tell people throw them out.
Right.
Buy them all over again. Joanna informed me that we have a call. I don't have my Skype open, Joanna. Who is it?
Brian Kennedy.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Doing good. Going to be out knocking doors with Emmett Smith later. What are you doing? I'm just kidding. Brian, I'm kidding.
I'm out knocking doors, only it's with me.
Yeah. You heard the interview we did with your opponent, Renard?
Yeah, I just had something I wanted to correct real quick because I wanted to defend a company. The quote about Amazon didn't need any incentives to come to West El Paso, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they didn't get any incentives to come to El Paso.
Well, and they ended up not coming to El Paso, right?
Well, the east side went outside the city limits, but on the west side, they just purchased land from the city to build a west side center. And, I mean, I know that there's some contributors that were upset that we didn't, go out to them. Not my contributors, by the way. I'm my contributor. But yeah, and Amazon just signed a deal. They bought some land on the west side, and everybody says, well, particularly, Renard says that they shouldn't have gotten an incentive. They didn't. They bought the land at value, normal value.
Well, I didn't get that he said they got the incentive. What I got, Brian, was that he said a company like Amazon doesn't need or deserve. I think need the incentive is the word he used.
They didn't get one either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I. That's what.
Well,
I
they didn't get
what
one,
okay.
and the example is they actually did all their own traffic studies, and they're paying for a new stoplight, and to leave the hint that there was a 380 agreement with Amazon, it would be inappropriate because they didn't.
Now we got 2 weeks to go, Brian.
Yeah, I know.
We got to set some ground rules. Now, what if Renard wanted to call back and correct something you said?
He's more than welcome to.
Yeah, but think about me for a second. What am I supposed to be the if that's the Brian, listen to me. Don't hang up. If that's the way it plays out, you guys have got to agree to an on-air debate.
I would 100% say the best way to do it is sit across from the table from each other and talk to each other.
And who would be the best moderator for it?
I think Buzz Adams.
Yeah. Right. That's 2 votes for Buzz Adams to do it. All right. Brian, thanks for calling in.
No, the only reason is because Amazon was great with what they did, and I just didn't want people to have the impression that they had gotten a deal because they did.
That they got something unfairly, right?
The way I took what Mr. Johnson said was that, hey, there are some companies, as an example, Amazon, they don't need incentives. Now, you might disagree with that. I don't think he was implying that they got incentives.
When somebody says I don't want to pick on a company and then brings it up, it gives it a...
All right.
But I just wanted to clear it up, Buzz, that they absolutely did not get any incentives from the city.
This election's getting lively, guys. Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed.
Hey, listen, and you want to know something?
Yes, sir.
I'm 100% on board to have a moderator and Renard and I sit down across the table and get to ask each other the really hard questions. I think the voters should have that happen.
Yeah, let's do that back and forth. Let's absolutely. If I can reach out to Renard's people and they agree, we'll do that before Election Day.
Absolutely.
Okay, Brian, thanks for the call.
All right, Buzz. Thanks.
Appreciate it. There we go.
Wow. First day back, you're already making news. Oh, my God.
Hitting dingers out of the park on the first day back.
Buddy.
Woo. Hey, I wonder why Cowboys guy hasn't called in. Does anybody know? Where's
Because there
Cowboys?
was no Cowboys.
Yeah, that's right, Joanna.
Because it was a bye. No,
it was a bye week.
The reason I know is because he called in last week already and we did the da-da-da-da.
Hey, we got a bye week.
Yeah. And he was like, go grill, go vacation.
Oh, I miss all our listeners and you guys.
Lies. You're nothing but a liar.
No, I miss you guys.
So, and then we call you to say,
and you
hey,
sound
buddy,
so grumpy.
And you're like, Dave Pierner.
Did you see your Uncle Herschel?
My Uncle Herschel passed away like 12 years ago.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so sorry about that.
Sorry for your loss.
I didn't see my grandma either. She died in 99. But thanks for opening those wounds up.
Did you have
I saw my Aunt Marietta.
You did?
I saw Aunt Marietta.
And all your cousins?
No. It's impossible.
Because you missed your family reunion.
By a week.
And they have like 50, 100 people go to that
They
thing.
had like something like 90 to 100 people there.
Wits? A bunch of wits?
Nope. Graham's other side.
It's mom's side. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have your mustache when you went up? Or did you shave it for your mom?
No. I had the mustache, but I'd also let my
the beard grow.
I know this is hard for you to relate to, but if I don't shave, and this goes for most men, Nico, if I don't shave, a beard will just come in on its own.
You bitch.
Are you stalling because you're not ready to
No,
do
I have
the
it
news?
right here. No, I have tons of news. I have tons of news in front of me.
Joanna just opined that we should break.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back with the news right after this.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
PTWeb.800-533-2519. The future is in your hands at CET.
El Paso's own live and local, The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Back into news headlines here in just a moment. I want to tell you about the KLAQ Halloween Parade.
Yeah.
You never have to wonder when it's coming up. It's always on Halloween. We've done that parade. I swear to God, we've done that parade on Sundays. If Halloween falls
Whenever
on a
it
Sunday,
is, yeah.
just whenever it is. Now is the time to make final preparations to be at Album Park Halloween afternoon, to participate or to watch. If you participate, maybe you'll win some cash, trophy, prizes. Decorate your vehicle and be in the rock and drive category. You've got to include KLAQ somewhere on the vehicle. Represent your workplace in the business category. That prize and contest is brought to you by Silla Vista Mall. Or come in costume and enter the walkers category. We have trophies and cash prizes for people who walk in the parade as well. The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be there in our, I need to change it from there to our Midsummer Tribute Float. The float is courtesy of Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box.
Woo! Jack in the Box.
And my buddy Mike Norwich, I heard him on a Jack in the Box commercial just a few minutes ago. Registration forms, rules, and the parade route map can all be heard or can all be found at KLAQ.com.
Okay,
and we'll be talking about it more.
So I just want to point this out and make a big deal about this, because we have been getting so many messages to the KLAQ Facebook page and Instagram messages, people asking, hey, where do we register to be part of the parade?
Okay, good question. That is a good question. Where do you register?
Yeah, you can go to KLAQ.com, and the rules and the form for registration is there. I believe, Joanna, also day of registration is available?
Yes, you could still register day of the parade.
Yeah, so that's a big one, too. If you just show up to the parade early.
Hey, I'm not going to say what time the parade starts, but it's usually... I don't know. What is it, Joanna? 3:30, something like that. Mm-hmm. But whatever it is, the people that are there with like their businesses and their especially their automobiles get there hours early just to get prepared and finish up. So we'll be talking more about it. We'll have a lot more information on the KLAQ Halloween Parade. The most important thing you need to know is that it is on Halloween afternoon.
Whoa.
That is October the 31st, a Thursday. All right. God, that's only like 10 days away.
Yep.
All right. You ready to continue with the news?
Yeah.
Also, people took that conversation earlier to mean leave a critique of how the show was when I was gone. Do you want to hear a couple of those?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
What if it's negative?
We're going to take the good and the bad, all right?
Yeah, we take the lumps.
You're going to take them both, and there you have
Yep.
the facts of
life.
Hey, morning show. Listening to the critique on Nico, and I think Nico did a good job. The Soul Asylum interview is extremely hard. The guy just sat there like a bump on a log. didn't hear the Eric Roberts.
Nobody
Yeah,
did.
there was some best stuff played, but there's best stuff played when Buzz is there. So I think the team did a great job. ODG doesn't know what he's talking about.
ODG.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
nice, yeah.
Joanna, you make the best partner.
Thank you. So do you.
Hey, good morning, you guys. You know what, Buzz? Nico did an excellent job interviewing. I don't even know his name. I'm not a fan of Soul Asylum. They're kind of like Ghost. You know, you hear Soul Asylum and you think it's going to be some heavy death metal band like Ghost, where you see Ghost, and they're not. It's all acoustic. Well, it's not acoustic, but it's a complete. The name really throws you off.
It's a little softer. Yeah.
I want to tell you what the caller's saying there. I get where you're coming from, but I don't think Ghost lives up to their billing with all the satanic imagery, and then it's just kind of like pop metal for the most part.
The name really throws you off there for a second. But anyways, Nico did an outstanding job interviewing that
Oh,
gentleman.
thank you.
Even though that guy was pretty not in the mood, right? You're on the road, you're traveling. I know how it is, but still, I feel like Nico almost did an a better job than you could have done, Buzz. Let me explain why. I can see Nico can adapt himself.
What? You just stopped? Let's just stop playing it, Joanna. You just stop playing it.
Are you making fake static noises?
Yeah, we lost the call.
So that he can hang up on it.
Buzz, I invite you to. I'm going to send you the interview so you can hear it.
Huh?
I'm going to send you the interview so you could hear it.
So many secrets I could.
Oh, and then like the worst part was having like Ray and Mike and like all the other guys
looking at you.
Yeah, like in the studio looking like, oh my god, these guys.
Wait,
at one point I was like,
they,
we should just have Ray do the interview.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Oh, they were there because they're such big Soul Asylum fans.
And then they played live. And like the whole process of like, not live, but we recorded it. But the whole process of getting the sound right was kind of a little frustrating.
Yeah, Mike did a great job getting us all hooked up with all that.
All right.
You want me to go back to news?
Yes, let's go back to news.
How much do you hate hearing that we do good when you're not here?
No, I'm glad to hear that.
Okay.
He's like a father, ready to let us fly away.
Yeah, sure.
From the nest.
If you guys get to where you can run this thing, I won't retire, but I'll probably just move like to a lake or something somewhere and do the show.
There's
no remote in.
Yeah.
People always ask me that. I'm like, do you think Buzz would know what to do with himself on a daily basis without like the morning show?
Probably some wood.
Yeah.
No. I know what to do.
Well, okay, let's get back into the news. All right, sad news as the remains of 2 U.S. Navy jet crew members who died when their aircraft crashed near Mount Rainier, Washington, were recovered yesterday afternoon. The plane was on a routine training flight out of Naval Air Station Whidbey Island in northwest Washington. The cause of the crash is under investigation, and officials said the 2 crew members would not be identified until 24 hours after their families have been notified. And an investigation is underway into classified documents released on a Telegram channel on Thursday that contain details and assessment of Israel's plans to attack Iran. House Speaker Mike Johnson said yesterday on State of the Union, there's an investigation underway, and when asked for comment, the White House directed questions to the Department of Justice, which declined to comment at all. The person who posted the documents to the Middle East Spectator channel originally said they were from an informed source within the U.S. intelligence community, but it's still not known if it was a leak or a hack. And it's been a rough weekend for Cuba after the national power grid failed in the country twice in 24 hours. Hurricane Oscar made landfall late yesterday in the eastern province of Guantanamo. Cuban media said swells of over 6 feet in height were hitting the coast of Cuba, and roofs and walls have been damaged in the city of Baracoa.
Barbacoa?
Oh my God.
Baracoa. The system is expected to make a turn to the northeast and approach the central Bahamas tomorrow, according to the National Hurricane Center. And someone now owns an extremely limited edition American collectible. A rare copy of the U.S. Constitution printed in 1787 after the Constitutional Convention finished drafting the proposed framework for the U.S., sold at auction for $9 million Thursday evening in North Carolina. I know what you're thinking. No, Nick Cage was not stealing it.
He found it in the Resolute desk.
There's a hidden.
Yeah, there's like a hidden compartment.
Right. Around 100 copies were printed by the Secretary of Congress at the time. His name was Charles Thompson, with just 8 known to still exist today. At the same auction, a watermark first draft of the Articles of Confederation from 1776 sold for $1 million. The last time a copy of the Constitution was sold, it went for $400 in 1891.
1891, how much?
$400, which was a fortune.
Yeah, yeah. You buy house and farm for that.
You could buy people, I think.
Not in 1890. not legally. It would buy a lot, though.
Yeah. Well, several people are being reported dead after a helicopter crash into a radio tower last night in Houston. Firefighters responded just before 8 p.m. local time after receiving reports of the fiery crash. Authorities say the private helicopter had taken off from Ellington Field shortly before. There were no injuries on the ground, but everybody on board the helicopter, including a child, was killed. It's assumed 4 people were in the copter. The FAA and other agencies are investigating. And get this, while print media is struggling, one magazine is staying strong. That magazine is Costco Connection.
Oh, yeah, they got some good stuff in there.
Really?
Yeah.
The publication is sent out to 15.4 million members a month and has featured celebrities like Jimmy Kimmel, Bruce Springsteen, and Oprah on the cover.
Really?
Costco says Connection readers have an average household income of $179,000, and 92% of them own their own home. The magazine launched in 1997 and is part of why there's a 90% retention in executive memberships. Recipes are a big part of the magazine, and Costco listens to the feedback readers give. Costco Connection has the third... Okay, dude... It has.
I mean, you got to keep up to date. Kirkland is moving so fast with their product lines.
Hey, but
I got to find out what kind of khaki shorts they're going to have out this year.
True.
This is where you will say BS. Costco Connection has the 3rd largest magazine circulation in the world.
I'm not surprised by that.
Behind AARP, the magazine, and AARP, the bulletin.
Yeah, nobody buys a magazine anymore. It's got to be something they send you for free.
Not even Vogue comes close to their circulation.
Not even Juicy Jugs comes close to their circulation. It's a fine publication.
Fire is never a good option to get rid of pests in a house. A man in Beacon, New York figured that out the hard way when trying to get rid of bees on his porch. The person used flames to try and get rid of the nest and set his porch on fire.
I think that is one way they smoke them out. But you kind of need to have some experience,
skill
with
and
it
experience. Luckily, firefighters arrived quickly, or the home would have gone up in flames. Experts recommending calling in a pro to remove pests and strongly suggest you do not use fire. Do not use them. Yeah.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
If only we had all your sounders last week. Yeah. Just 2 more stories for you left. How does this even happen? Authorities in Florida are on the lookout for an inmate who escaped in a Maserati after...
Now that's a getaway vehicle.
Yeah, right. Well, this inmate went to a hospital in Miami faking chest pains on Saturday. Miami-Dade police say Theodric Collins was initially arrested on out-of-state warrants. After being cleared at Jackson Memorial Hospital, still handcuffed, he fled in a waiting silver Maserati. The vehicle was later detected in Jupiter by a license plate reader.
Jupiter?
Yeah, it's Jupiter, Florida. Buddy.
Yeah, I know. You know who lives in Jupiter? A lot of retired circus folk.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Carnies?
Yeah. Well, no, these were like the performers, so like the human cannonball and the bearded lady and stuff.
They're considered carnies too.
No. The carnies are the guys who
The workers?
Yes, those are the carnies.
Well, what are they considered? The freaks?
The performers.
The talent?
I'm sure. I don't know what the hierarchy in a circus is. You're
Are you
asking
just
me.
getting your information from American Horror Story?
Yeah, that's where it's coming from. That's exactly right. You have Carney.
What about the guy who used to eat chicken heads and bite them off?
That's called the geek.
The geek.
And
that's right.
that was a very highly paid position. If you were willing to bite the head off of a chicken, they pay you a lot of money. It helped if you had a condition, colloquially.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not
If you
even gonna try.
right, that's impossible. I just discovered it colloquially as a pinhead. All right, I know that's not the word we
All
use
of
now.
that to get to pinhead.
Yeah, right. If you wanted to be
the pinhead.
If you wanted to be the circus geek or the wild man from Borneo, it helped if you had a misshapen
Borneo?
head. Yeah,
That's hilarious. Well, finally, you two. If you want to take on the challenge of dressing up your cat for Halloween,
God.
Joanna,
It is a challenge.
here are some options. See, dogs are much cooler about being dressed in clothing.
Yeah.
So feline fashion needs to be easy on and easy off. Here are some options.
Okay.
Okay. Wait a minute. I think I need to play.
I gotta
I
write
think you
these
do
down.
too. Yeah.
Here. This is tips for dressing specifically your cat.
Halloween costumes that are
Jenkins had a cat. He lost his cat
one day.
And when he couldn't find his cat, you'd hear old Jenkins say,
What did he say?
Here, pussy, 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 here, pussy,
None of us are brave enough to sing along.
pussy, pussy, here, pussy, 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 here, pussy, 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 pussy. Where is the gosh darn cat?
All right, now we can do the
You may
tips.
go on.
where is the goddamn cat?
Gosh darn.
I'm sorry. So here are the options.
Okay.
Number 1, bat wings for a cat or cat wings.
I got dragon wings for Junior.
So
Yeah, I don't think they're going to like any of that stuff.
apparently because they're easy to put on and easy to take off and that they just sit on the back.
Yeah, you definitely don't want something that's going to go on their head because
They don't like that.
might I present to you Exhibit A, my right arm and how scratched up it is.
Is that from your cat?
Yes.
Let's see.
Why would you still?
Oh my God! It barely looks human anymore.
Why would you still? Why do you keep him then?
Because he's so cute.
Well, don't. I mean, he only scratches you when you try
When
to
I
put a
try to
costume.
put a little
Don't put a
devil's horn on him, it's cute.
Number 2, a lion's mane.
Oh, Junior hates it.
He'd probably. Have you tried that?
Yeah, I bought a lion's mane for it.
And he hated it.
He hates it.
A
Nothing that's going to cover their ears, really.
well for
I've got a PSA coming up, Joanna, and you need to pay attention to it. Okay.
Joanna, for the catista in your family, a meow bucks apron,
Meow bucks.
a pet pumpkin,
Aw.
and front walker granny or front walking granny.
Okay. Where does pizza slice land on that list? Because Junior looks adorable.
Number 6, like you could eat them all up.
He's my little slice of heaven.
What do
is
you
what
think's
I call him.
going
my God.
through their mind when they're wearing the costume?
I think Junior is thinking, I am going to murder
Right.
this bitch.
Like I didn't go through years of evolution just for this.
I will scratch up everything she loves.
And with your news, I'm Nico.
All right.
Do you want the perfect Halloween costume for your pet? Then we have the answer. Introducing the new Pet Costume Service. We'll send somebody to your house, tie you up, throw you in the back of a van, drive you to a dark room, and smack you in the legs with a yardstick until you come to your senses and realize how lame it is to dress your animal up in a costume.
Oh.
The new Pet Costume Service. Because if you want to dress something up, have a kid, lame-o. Call now.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
Amortized over life of from date of contract, subject to credit approval. Expires 11/4/24.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Interman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Hey, this is a good song to play, like his bumper music, because it's October. And this song is about werewolves of London.
Is it really?
Yeah. This is Werewolves of London.
No, but what's the name of the song?
Werewolves of London.
No, but that was in the movie, right? So what's the name of the song?
Well, the movie was called An American Werewolf in London. The song is called Werewolves of London, and it goes...
You're all over the place, honey.
Hey, did you get to...
Saw a werewolf walking with a Chinese menu in his hand. He was looking for a place called Lee Ho Fooks. Right, Joanna? Oh.
That sounds a little specific, maybe racist towards werewolves, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Penguin?
No, I'm behind. My mom doesn't have Max or HBO, so I've got two full episodes and part of another one to watch. Have you been watching it?
No, but I got into a whole discussion with Jibs about it yesterday.
Yeah, he's pretty high on the nerd totem pole, so I'd be interested what Jibs has to say.
He was all like, they did it wrong. They didn't get Batman right. I'm like, well, Buzz would say that they got Batman right by making him so realistic.
Yeah, I do admire that. Does Batman show... Did you just spoil...
No, he doesn't show up. No.
Well, then what's Jibs complaining about?
Just the world. It's
okay, so Penguin is set right after the next day after the events in the Batman.
What did he call it? Superhero Sopranos. It's basically the Sopranos in superhero land. Yeah.
Oh,
that sounds awesome to me. Like if Tony Soprano could have Hulk raged out. Tony Soprano smash over here. It's freaking clobbering time already.
But then the conversation always eventually goes back to, well, what do you mean Buzz is like...
And I do know that I just made a reference to the Thing. I was talking about
the Hulk. Yeah. Somebody's going to call you out on that.
I call it the weave. You never know where I'm going.
You and Donald Trump both.
You know you got that wrong. That's not actually.
It's the Thing, Benjamin Grimm, that says clobbering time.
Joanna, the worst part is how Buzz says, I expect superheroes to be realistic.
No.
But there needs to be realism in the superheroes.
I think that's what a lot of people liked about the Christopher Nolan Batman.
Right.
I think they appreciate it.
But when they show a man who can fly as an invulnerable to stuff, and you're like, well, that's stupid. That's Superman power of being able to fly. Where'd that come from?
Just make the character God, because that's basically what it is. Yeah. How's it interesting?
You know why this came up?
If Kryptonite doesn't get involved, nobody's a match for Superman.
You know why this came up? And yeah, you're right. But everybody needs a weakness. Last week, they announced that James Gunn is going to put Crypto the Superdog in the new Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And how do you feel about that?
How about Freedom, the super horse? That was a character. There's a whole menagerie of...
There was a super horse.
Super animals.
But anyways, I knew you were going to scoff at this.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Crypto's been around for 60 years, since the 60s, the 50s.
Yeah, I know. It was dumb then. It's dumb now. It's why they don't put Robin in Batman movies anymore. It's just stupid. Did you notice that in all the Christopher Nolan movies they never put Robin in there?
Well, now it seems a little Diddy-ish.
It seemed like that at the time. Like they would show in the old 50s comic strips, or maybe even before that, Bruce and Dick, because Robin's real name is Dick.
No, yeah, he is.
It would show them waking up in the same bed.
It would.
You've seen that before. It's like, what a good night's rest, right, Boy Wonder? To the point. Hey, so the fact that Batman had an aunt in the 1960s. They
had to include an ant because they
it was
thought
too
it was
creepy
too
for two dudes, one of them much younger, to be living in a house together.
Even Alfred is kind of weird. If it's just an old
even
man.
Alfred looks curious, at least, at what goes on down there in the Batcave.
So one would say Henry was your Alfred. When Nico lived there.
Oh man, Henry retired, by the way.
Did he really?
From working for me.
Oh, because he was sick, right? He
had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So
you were his only client, by the way.
Well, Joanna, are you saying that I was the Robin, though?
You were the Boy Wonder.
I guess Joanna's kind of right, though. It's kind of weird when you had a bunch of dudes living there.
You notice? Yeah, the whole Robin thing. They pretend that doesn't exist. Do the same thing with Crypto, the stupid super dog.
I like it. I like the lore. I would watch Ace, Batman's dog, and Crypto, the super dog, have their entire own movie.
And if you're picturing them with capes, they
have capes, yeah. And the whole time that we were talking about this was like, Buzz is going to say this is so stupid.
They're getting very uncomfortably close to the whole Shazam deal where you bring out all the family members.
The Marvel family, come on, dude.
Super Grandpa, Super Baby.
They did have a Super Baby.
Super Rabbit.
You're not wrong with any of this.
Super Rabbit.
And by the way,
Not the sex toy, Joanna.
I only reviewed this the week before I left. I want to repeat it again. Joker 2 is really, really good. You are going to have to put up with 15 to 20 musical numbers.
Ugh.
But they're not songs any of you under 100 years of age would be familiar with, so there's that.
They're bangers.
Did UTEP win a game?
Yeah, they did. They won their first game.
Against New Mexico?
No, Florida.
No. Somebody was trying to tell me, I got back in town, it's like, the Miners beat New Mexico. I'm like, there's no way that can be right.
Oh, is that true?
No. Who did they beat? Florida International.
Florida International Union? I don't know. FIU? FUI?
Let's get an update on the UTEP Buzz. Buzz Flabiano had a 35-year-old PAT to give UTEP the 27-21 advantage. Flabiano's third. I just like to keep up to date because he's a Buzz. I'm a Buzz. We Buzzes.
You buzz out.
He made one from 39. 3 field goals. I don't know who wrote this, but it looks like they're very excited about UTEP getting its first win. And Miners are going to be playing Louisiana Tech Tuesday, tomorrow. It's midweek madness in Conference USA. You'll be able to watch this on the CBS Sports Network, and that is a 6 p.m. Mountain Time start for the Miners tomorrow night. The Miners are looking for their first win in Ruston in 20 years.
Hey, did you watch?
It will be on 600 ESPN.
Is Buzz Flabiano? Is Buzz his real name?
I don't think Buzz is anybody's name, dude. It's a nickname. It's like Red, or Buddy. I guess somebody's real name could be Buzz,
Buddy,
or Buddy, or whatever.
So did Georgia beat Texas this weekend?
Georgia did beat Texas. Georgia at number 5 took Texas to the woodshed. And I say this because Texas was coming off a week where they clobbered the Sooners. Just humiliated
we talked about
on
it quite
their
a bit.
home field.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a bit.
I could have stayed an extra day and gone to that game, and I wisely decided not to because Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's already lost, but 3 games this season. 3 games. They're talking in the barbershops about firing the head coach. And probably they're talking about that with Alabama, who lost to Tennessee. Alabama's now lost to 2 teams, both of them from Tennessee. Which was the one you asked about?
Georgia is now number 2. Texas is number 5.
Yeah, so they kind of swapped places. Who they got at number 1?
Oregon.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Here's the call as Georgia defeated the number 1 ranked Longhorns 30-15.
Rush comes. Ewers, desperation fling, fitting ending to this ball game. Georgia's pass rush pressure, the dominant story all night. It was Chaz Chambliss that time, and the Dogs are going to come to Austin and knock off number 1.
We probably got to get a break here pretty quick, but we did have a few calls that came in late. Let's see. A couple of reviews of how you did last week. Here's another one.
Good morning, Buzz and the Diamond Dog.
Hello.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick review. Just want to let you know, man, these guys really killed it this week.
Oh.
And when Nico was there, he did an amazing job. But I want to give a huge shout out to Joanna.
I just want to back it up and say when Nico showed up.
Shut up.
And when Nico was there, he did an amazing job. But I want to give a huge shout out to Joanna and Alberto for just holding down the fort while you were gone, Buzz. Either way, we're really glad you're back. And have a good morning. Peace.
All right. Thank you.
There's one more that just came in, too.
Is it same topic?
No, it's about Werewolf in London.
Werewolves of London.
Werewolves of London.
Yeah. God dang it.
Yo, friendly neighborhood like this. Nico, just when I'm starting to like you a little bit more and more, man, really, you don't know Werewolves of London?
He said it.
Come on, bro. It's Color of Money. Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's in that.
His hair was perfect. Good movie. Good song. Can't believe you don't know it.
And his hair
really had to explain that one.
Was perfect.
Come on, Nico. Come on. Y'all look at
Werewolves of London. It's a fun, almost a novelty song.
It sounds like
Great Halloween song for sure.
Now, who sings this?
Warren Zevon.
Warren Zevon.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
Yeah, Warren Zevon passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Steve Kaplowitz is here.
Cappy.
Morning. Just a quick preview. We're going to talk. Miners getting their first win. Miners are going to play on a Tuesday this week.
Yeah, welcome back from vacation.
Yeah, thanks very much.
You missed a lot. You're gone, they win a game.
We got the World Series set. It's not going to be a Subway Series, which it looked like it could have been.
No, but this is a classic.
To me, this is the matchup that I remember most from my childhood.
Mine too.
Yankees Dodgers.
Yes.
You had the two biggest cities on each coast. You know, the Dodgers, if you're older, you remember they played in Brooklyn, right?
Right.
But, I'm looking forward. Some of the greatest World Series from my childhood were between the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Can you believe that anybody younger than 43 years old wasn't even alive the last time these two teams played in the Fall Classic? That's how long it's been. 43 years.
Hey, also your Longhorns.
Longhorns went down to number 5. Is that about the right place for them? Should they go to number? Georgia went to number 2, and then you got Oregon.
Deserved it.
Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah. Texas laid an egg at home. That's just what it comes down to. They were terrible.
I think Texas was like, hey, this SEC isn't as tough as we thought it was going to be. And then
the schedule got tougher.
Got tougher.
That's right.
All right, we'll be back. We'll do Go Sports Go with Steve Kaplowitz coming up in just a moment. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show's on the way right after this.
Hey, it's Daniel Paulus. I'll be along starting at 3 with everything from GNR to STP.
All 4 are reported. The results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com and make your appointment today.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station. The Buzz Adams Morning Show presents Go Sports Go. Brought to you by the Viva Auto Group. Viva makes it happen.
And Steve Kaplowitz helps make it happen. And Steve is here to talk about, we've got so many sports. Boy, this is the opposite of that one day of the year where there are no sports.
Oh, no, this is not July.
Everything is converging right now. The NBA is getting started. The WNBA just wrapped up. The World Series is coming up. Football is getting very interesting on both college and pro levels, so we got plenty to talk about today, Cappy.
Yeah, this is not the middle of July with the baseball all-star break and then the ESPYs because there's nothing going on in sports, so ESPN takes over the whole show. No.
Don't forget about collegiate fencing, okay? The NCAA Championships is happening in November, and...
are you going to be going?
To the championship? Yeah, it's in Pennsylvania.
You should go. I mean, that'd be fun. Go watch a fencing championship. I would call the fencing championships.
You know what? I'm going to switch it around. We are going to talk about the World Series. Is set. It's a classic matchup.
Yep.
How many years has it been since the Dodgers played the Yankees in a World
43.
Series? 43 years.
Matter of fact, the last time it happened was Fernando Mania. Remember when he was a rookie?
Valenzuela.
Yeah, he was a rookie that year in '81. That was the last time. Then the Yankees broke up the team. Remember, they got Reggie went to the Angels. Yeah. They basically tore that team down. Dodgers.
Oral Hershiser years were in there somewhere.
Yeah, well, that was the mid to late 80s.
Yeah, that was mid to late 80s.
Because remember, the Dodgers had that great series against Oakland when Kirk Gibson hits the home run. He can barely walk, and he's pumping his fist. Oh, yeah.
You guys?
Hi, good morning.
Oops, sorry, wrong call.
I mean, I'll be happy to take any
Hey,
call.
do you guys want to hear some trivia about the Dodgers-Yankees playing the World Series?
I guess so. Since I guess we are talking Major League Baseball before anything else. Yeah, go ahead. Give me some trivia. Tommy Lasorda.
Most frequent matchup. The Yankees and Dodgers have met 11 times in the World Series, making it one of the most frequent matchups in baseball history.
Now, Steve, does that include when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn?
Yes.
Were they in,
Yes.
they could match up in the World Series? How often did that happen?
From like 1947 to 1956, I think 7 of the 9 years were Dodgers-Yankees World Series. And the Dodgers only won once. Remember, they won in 55. That was Jackie Robinson's only World Series title.
Right?
With Brooklyn, right, exactly. The Yankees won every other time.
You were close. The first World Series encounter was 1941, with the Yankees defeating Brooklyn Dodgers in 5 games.
But look at the records from 47 to 56.
Yes.
It seemed like they were playing, I think they play like every year but 2 years. Is that right?
Yep, that is right.
Yeah, that was just a huge stretch where the Dodgers and the Yankees.
One of the most famous moments in World Series history came during the 1956 matchup when Yankees pitcher Don Larson threw the only perfect game.
Perfect game. Right. He was a big enough celebrity. He got to do a guest spot on an episode of the Brady Bunch because of that.
That's you win. That's
Remember,
right.
Peter was listening to the game on a transistor radio in class.
Yeah.
So let's hear a little bit of. Did you have another trivia question?
No. The Yankees have historically dominated the series.
They have.
Winning 8 of the 11 World Series matchups against the Dodgers.
But the Dodgers won the last World Series title in 81. They beat the Yankees the last time they played.
The Dodgers won the series in 6 games, their first victory of the Yankees as the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah,
in Cleveland on Saturday, the New York Yankees.
Well, no, wait a minute. I thought the Dodgers beat the Yankees in 63.
You're talking about the
Los Angeles
sweep.
Dodgers.
Okay, you're right. The Dodgers now in Los Angeles swept the Yankees in 4 games, marking the first time the Yankees were swept in a World Series. Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax was dominant.
By the way, this is my sweet spot. Remember how you talk about how nowadays I don't know anything about sports anymore? So
I don't say that.
Get me back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and it's like right in my sweet spot. And all of a sudden, I wake up again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm back from my time warp, and here we go. We got a lot going on.
If it was in that Ken Burns documentary, I know it. So everything after like 1993, I just don't even know.
There you go.
The Yankees beat the Guardians in Cleveland. Here's the final play.
Guardians are down to their last strike here. Here's the 1-2. Thomas, fly ball right field. Who else should end this game than that man right there? Juan Soto puts it away, and the New York Yankees have won the American League pennant.
Now, the reason they name-checked Juan Soto is because he had done this in the 10th inning. Yeah, so there were extra innings, a 3-run shot to give them the 5-2 lead.
Hunter Gaddis against Juan Soto. 2 hits tonight for Soto, a double and a single. Gaddis deals, Soto, a high fly ball to center. Thomas backing up, Thomas at the track, and Juan Soto! A 3-run home run! Soto magic in Game 5!
Single, double, and then a game-winning homer. Wow!
And he wasn't even the MVP of the series. Giancarlo Stanton was the MVP because he was a home run machine for the Yanks. Look, this is what is going to be. There's a lot of people. So interesting. I've got a lot of good friends that are baseball fans, right? They hate this World Series. They're like, oh, this sucks. Big markets, most spending. I'm like, listen.
The Dodgers and the Yankees,
It is a classic. This is going to be a World Series that just about everybody on the planet is going to be watching. Because on one side, you've got Soto, Judge, Stanton, that Yankee mashing group. On the other side, you've got Ohtani, Betts, Freeman.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent.
My God.
Loaded talent.
It is top to bottom superstar city for these two teams. And, it's going to be a fantastic series. I'm excited about this just because we haven't had this matchup in so many years.
Let's listen in to the Dodgers as they beat the New York Mets last night to win the National League pennant.
Mets season has been a remarkable one, but it's down to its last out. This crowd, though, ready to explode, on the verge of making it all happen. There's a bouncing ball to second. Taylor's got it. Los Angeles is alive, and they're headed to the World Series. Dodgers-Yankees in the Fall Classic.
Classic matchup for the Fall Classic.
Hey, welcome back, Buzz. Everybody did a great job filling in for you.
I thought Alberto was great. I think he's coming out of the show more and more. And the guy's really funny, and he has some interesting insights. But beyond that, actually, what I wanted to talk to you about is, please, while Steve is there, please talk about the fact that El Paso has a member of the WNBA championship team.
All right.
He's right.
I watched more WNBA this past week because my niece, who played college basketball, is really into the WNBA.
I tried, by the way, just a little piece of trivia. I tried to get your niece to UTEP. I wanted the Miners, so I'm serious about this, to bring her in because I thought she really could have helped them at the time. And I was like pushing the UTEP coaching staff to really make a strong offer, but she ended up staying closer
I think
to home.
she hung up her sneakers for marriage.
Marriage, yeah.
I know.
Well,
that happens.
she was getting to be an old maid by Oklahoma standards. She
Right,
was
by
21.
21.
Yeah. She's like Ellie Mae Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Do you want to...
Poor, pitiful thing. 21 and not yet wed.
Bless her soul.
Do you want to hear the final call for the New York Liberty defeating the Minnesota Lynx?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. Go ahead.
Carlton lobs it in, taken away by Phoebus, off to Stewart. 28 years in the making. The New York Liberty are WNBA champions.
Does that mean that the WNBA has been a league for 28 years, or does
Yes.
it mean that the Liberty won their first championship in all that time?
No, the league's been they've been around for 28 years. Is what
Okay.
the Liberty's won before. By the way,
So who are we talking about? Who's the UTEP?
oh, Kayla
champ?
Thornton.
Kayla Thornton.
Yes.
All
By
right.
the way, she was great. So look, came off the bench all season long, and once again was a spark, I think, for the Liberty. She fouled out yesterday, but played and won a championship. Get this, on her birthday.
Hey, how about that?
Oh, that's awesome.
What a cool birthday
Yeah,
gift
seriously.
that is. And not only that, she joins an exclusive club. So think about this. Jim Bad News Barnes, Greg Foster, Nate Tiny Archibald, and now Kayla Thornton are the only minors to win a NBA or WNBA basketball title.
The Heat never won when Tim Hardaway was with Miami?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Antonio Davis, no.
Greg Foster with the Lakers.
Yep, he did. Jim Bad News Barnes with the Celtics from the 60s when they were having their dominant run. And, you look at this, and Nate Tiny Archibald with the Celtics in the early 80s. Remember when he joined the Celtics towards the end?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
that-
he joined, and Pete Maravich joined for a couple of seasons in the early 80s.
That's right.
Steve, I've got an interesting story about the WNBA. I'm wondering if you would comment on it. So they just released that the WNBA would lose $40 million this season.
That's correct.
Making it the 26th consecutive year that the WNBA failed to turn a profit. The NBA owns about 60% of the WNBA, but when you add personal stakes in from NBA owners in the team in the league, that percentage goes up to about 75%.
So here's the good news.
Investments said to be in hundreds of millions, and now NBA owners are asking Adam Silver for more transparency as they are getting antsy as to when they're going to see a return on their investment.
So the good news is, because of all the popularity, there's going to be a new media deal. And word is that the new media deal is going to be lucrative enough for the WNBA to start turning a profit.
Oh.
So if there's ever light at the end of the tunnel,
right,
it's that now, because of the interest in the league, we're starting to now get to that point where the WNBA is not, because they've been averaging 10 million.
So how do they
a
keep
year
how
in
do they
loss.
keep afloat? Just the
Because of
NBA, the NBA pumps
bankrolling them. Yeah,
money?
of course,
Right.
of course, yeah. And the NBA's got more money than they know what to do with because of how expensive those franchises are. So, they're hoping now that the WNBA will start to turn a profit because of their new media deal.
Did we talk about college football yet?
No, we have not.
Did I have a call about the Texas game?
You did.
Is this it?
I don't know.
Hi, good morning.
Yes.
This call is for Cappy. So Cappy, speaking about the Longhorns, how weird is to change a decision in the college football, because everybody seems to be so shocked. But, in the NFL, they do change decisions like oftenly. But how weird is in college? And also, where you agree, do you think they did the right decision by changing it? I think they did, but do you agree, Cappy? Thank you.
I think she's asking about the call, changing the call.
Right. So this call, upon watching the instant replay, was pretty clear to anybody watching at home or in the stadium that it was a blown call.
Yes.
I didn't know if there's a mechanism to reverse yourself at that point. And the Texas fans came, I think, very close to getting a technical foul for throwing water bottles on the field.
It'd be a 15-yard penalty. You're right.
Yeah.
And unsportsmanlike conduct
they must have.
would be what it is. Yes.
It says something to me how much the refs knew they botched that call, that they did not call it technical on the Longhorn crowd.
There's no technicals in football, only in basketball.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's a technicality. Therefore, it's a technical.
Let's get our sports right, please.
Yeah, but did you see the Texas coach go out onto the field and try and get the crowd
Steve Sarkisian was adamant to stop throwing water bottles.
The coach on the other side was the Georgia coach was flipping out when they reversed it.
Well, first off, let's be honest. Who knew there's that many students that drink water at Texas football games?
Here's the thing.
That was my biggest takeaway.
I only saw water bottles. Nobody was willing to throw away a beer.
Exactly.
It was only water bottles.
And I didn't even realize students drink water at Texas games. I thought all they do is drink beer. So when I saw that there were that many water bottles being thrown, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Must be hot in Texas tonight, because most of the times when you're a student and you're at a Texas game, a big Texas game, the last thing you're drinking is a bottle of water.
It could have been a deal where they knew it was going to be hot and kind of stifling, and they provided water bottles for everybody in the student section as possible.
Could be. And boy, those things were thrown like projectiles. In fact, did you see how quickly the Texas staff were there to clean those up?
Well, that was Sarkisian went out and told everybody to stop.
That's right.
I think he knew how close they were.
Yes.
I think he knew. But I did not know. Could the refs reverse themselves?
They could have if they wanted to. Yes, and they also
did.
And they also could have thrown a 15-yard penalty on the fans.
I bet they were so close to doing that.
I'm sure they were, because it was just but I mean, most of the time the way it works in sports is this: they give you a warning. And if you still do it after the warning, boom. Then they slap the either technical in basketball or unsportsmanlike in football.
They slap you with a tee. That's what they do. They tee up.
Rush comes. Ewers, desperation fling, fitting ending to this ball game. Georgia's pass rush pressure, the dominant story all night. It was Chaz Chambliss that time, and the Dogs are going to come to Austin and knock off number one.
The story behind this game was this. Number one, Georgia was terrific. Although it was weird because their quarterback throws 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, but he didn't have to, because Trevor Etienne was the running back for Georgia. 3 running scores. He was great.
I wanted to look up how tall is that guy, because I just noticed compared to the other players on his team, he came up to about their elbow.
5'9". 5'9".
See? Yeah, that's like average height.
Yeah, but he was good. Really, really good. And Quinn Ewers' problem was Quinn Ewers can't run. So that's the issue. Like when you watch Arch Manning, he has the speed.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers is more of that pocket passer, and it just wasn't his night.
Well, they put Arch Manning in for a little while, but they took him right back out. So, I mean, he had one notable run.
Yes, but it really wasn't.
He plays a lot more like his grandfather than he does like Peyton or Eli.
That's right. He's much more mobile.
Yeah.
But remember, he's not Peyton's son, and he's
Cooper's
son. And Cooper never played college football. But we were always told that had Cooper played college football, he would have had a chance to play in the pros, because he was apparently a really talented player. What happened? Was it a high school injury?
Yeah, there was an injury or something, but I think I'd heard both of the other Mannings, Peyton and Eli, say that Cooper was the best athlete in the family.
I heard that too. So anyway.
That kind of boggles the mind.
Oregon is the number 1 team in the country. Oklahoma has fallen out of the top 25.
Nobody's talking about Oklahoma here, Steve.
Where were you last Monday when we could have talked about the Texas OU game?
Oklahoma.
You were nowhere to be found. You were in Oklahoma. That's right.
Buzz said that he could have gotten tickets to go see them.
Really?
I could have seen him.
Or in Norman? Or in Dallas? Where could you have seen Oklahoma?
Were
they playing South Carolina on Saturday? In Norman?
I think it was,
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
My brother said he could get us tickets.
tickets. Well, I'm sure tickets are pretty easy to come by this year for Oklahoma football.
Right.
That is for sure. So, speaking of college football, UTEP will be playing tomorrow night in Ruston, Louisiana, against the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. So, that game will start at 6. Our coverage starts at 5 o'clock.
20 years since the Miners beat Louisiana Tech in Ruston.
It's been 20.
That's what the thing says.
You know who was the coach the last time it happened?
20 years ago, that would have been
Bobby Knight.
No. Mike Price. Probably,
Very
like
nice.
his first
Mike
year.
Price.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So
Hey, I got
it has been that long. Yes.
Interesting question for you, Steve. What is so special about Arnold Palmer's dong?
So, I saw this story over the weekend, and apparently, now, you know what's interesting? So, like, there are certain celebrities, like Milton Berle, for example.
Yeah, he was
famously
had a hog.
Everybody knew Milton was hung, and they would joke about it during those celebrity roasts. I don't know how it's taken so many years after Arnold's dead to have someone bring up how well endowed apparently he was, because no one has ever mentioned this until this weekend.
So there are.
So that's what he stirred his drink with.
Yes, the Arnold Palmer. That's right.
These are some of the stories that are attached on Daily Beast.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer's daughter reacts to Trump's story about her dad's penis. Is an actual headline that I'm reading in front of me right now.
Trump is such an idiot.
Arnold Palmer was, quote, appalled by crude Trump, who praised the late golfer's genitals.
Look at those. Those are real headlines.
Those are headlines.
Not in the Onion.
Not in the Onion. In real life.
Wait a minute. How many years has
I
Arnold
kind of want to open the
2016 was he died.
So he's been gone. So he's been gone for 8 years, but he's still appalled. Apparently, somebody contacted him.
I bet the story, if I clicked on it, I bet it was somebody asked Arnold Palmer's opinion of Trump. I'm sure they met, or they. You want me to open it and see what he says?
I don't care.
He's not appalled today.
Yeah, they dug him up.
They dug him up.
The late golf icon Arnold Palmer was appalled by former President Donald Trump, who weirdly started boasting about Palmer's genitals at a campaign.
Well, according to his family, he couldn't believe the crudeness of him.
But not in reaction to this, because he's been dead.
Yeah.
For 8 years.
Has anybody ever talked about Arnold's dong until this weekend?
I have talked to some guys who knew Arnold. We have friends that have played, at a high enough level that they knew Arnold.
Yeah.
And the stories are that he was definitely a ladies' man, and definitely had plenty of company on the road.
Did anybody ever talk about how well endowed he was?
I never heard that.
But they talked about how they couldn't close the casket.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Arnold Palmer's daughter told the Sporting News back in 2018 that Arnie, who was a conservative and friendly with presidents going back to Dwight D. Eisenhower, was so incensed by what he saw as Trump's lack of civility that he made noises of disgust when Trump appeared on television. So that's there
you go.
That's that story. All right. Doubleheader Monday Night Football. You're going to be out on the east side tonight?
I'll be at Border City.
All right. Tell us about that.
1506 Lee Trevino. So I get there starting at 4. We've got 2 games tonight. That's right. Not just 1, but 2. So the first game will start at 6:15. That's the game we'll be ready for. The Ravens and the Bucks tonight, 6:15. And then at 7, the Chargers and Cardinals, late night Monday Night Football. So here's how it works. Chargers Cardinals are on ESPN Plus, and the Ravens and Bucks will be on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus. So you're familiar with ESPN Plus, right? That's their premium where you subscribe per month. You get all the different sports. So the Chargers Cardinals are only going to be on ESPN Plus,
and you got to pay for that?
Yeah, it costs money. Yes, you have to pay. You have to pay for that. That's right.
Greedy money.
By the way, I love ESPN. For me, like for a sports fan, you get all the hockey you want to watch. There's lots of college sports, baseball.
Oh, do you do the Disney bundle with it's like Hulu,
I do.
ESPN Plus, and
I do.
Disney? I think Plus, yeah.
I do all 3, right? And I'm trying to like break it up, because what happens is now I've got like Disney without commercials, because I was part of the original bundle, but the original bundle was like $10 a month, and now it's jumped to like 18. Like it keeps going up and up and up, and it's getting to the point where it's like you're gonna have to start picking and choosing what we're going with here, guys. You know? You agree?
Yeah, I got a couple of calls here. Yeah, okay. No kidding. And there's so many things that are included in different bundles.
Yes.
I think somehow I'm paying for HBO Max twice, and I don't know why I would be doing that.
That's not good.
What's up, guys? It is Wrestler Guy. Hope you guys had yourself a good weekend. Buzz, I hope you had yourself a great vacation.
Yeah, it's real nice. Thanks, Wrestler Guy.
How about them Steelers? Steelers with the win last night over the Jets. Kathy, I'm sorry. I know that's your team, man. But Steelers! Woo! That's all I want to say. You guys have yourself a good morning, man. Love the show.
Jets were awful last night. Credit to the Steelers. It did not look good early for Russell Wilson. He was getting booed by the fans. He was not throwing the ball well. And then all of a sudden,
Kind of got it together.
He got it together, and the Jets became the Jets, and that was the end of that. So the Jets are now 2-4. The Steelers are now 6-2. And I'm sorry, was it not 2 wait? The Jets are 2-5, 2-6. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets are a mess, is what they are. They've only won twice. I'm already losing track of how many games they've lost, but I think they're 2-5, and I think the Steelers are now 5-2.
All right. So the Jets lost. They'd lost one on TV. That was a more exciting game against the Bills the week before that.
And then they trade for Devontae Adams, who catches a couple of passes. But look, 2 interceptions for Rodgers. One went right off of Garrett Wilson's chest, perfect pass, and he dropped it.
I think I figured out one of the things, this is just one of the things that I dislike about Aaron Rodgers. There are a number of things.
Yeah.
But one of them is he does not conceal the expression on his face when a player runs a wrong pattern or drops one that they should have caught. I mean, he just expresses it, and that's just going to be demoralizing for your receivers.
Yeah, plus last night on social media, he was caught eating a booger.
He was eating a booger? I hope it was his own.
It was,
Okay.
and next thing you know, that's all people were talking about last night about Aaron. You search Aaron Rodgers, that's all that comes up on social media from last night. It was not good.
All right, Cappy, thank you.
All right.
You got a sponsorship here?
I do. You want me to read it when we come back so you can take your break?
Yeah.
All right.
Read it when we come back.
Fair enough.
And take our break. We'll come back with more with Steve Kaplowitz right after this.
Hey, it's Daniel Paulus. I'll be along starting at 3 with everything from Led Zeppelin to Soundgarden.
So you can keep being more at GECU.com. Membership eligibility is required, insured by NCUA.
I want you to hear what this fool is saying.
And now, the big mouth of the border.
This is a whole other level.
Whole other level of insane.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show is back.
Kaplowitz.
All right. I want to thank Steve for coming by
Thank
for
you.
our Go Sports Go.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of interest in Underdog Fantasy while you were gone because Alberto was on the show. And
well, he's got a problem, so.
The problem is he likes to play with me, so that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah. How does he do?
It's a good problem. He does really well, really, really well. In fact, he's somebody I like to consult with.
I just downloaded it, and the nice thing is that it has quick picks. So that somebody like me who does not follow the statistics or things,
you can just
it makes it easy to play.
You just pick them like Aaron Rodgers picks his nose and then eats it.
That's exactly. You know what? I wish Underdog Fantasy had the odds for that one. That would have been a lot of
Some
fun.
weird prop bets.
Oh, that would have been great. That would have been a lot of great. But no, truth is, Ravens Bucks. So like for tonight, example, they've got Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers. You can all pick higher than certain numbers of completions, passing yards, touchdowns, etc. Very easy. So they bundle it for you. As Nico just mentioned, the quick picks is one of the nice features for Underdog. And over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making their picks on Underdog. In fact, making picks is straightforward, and signing up on Underdog is even easier. Here's what you do. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code KLAQ, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code KLAQ, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Okay, so I had to look this up. Are people making too much of this? Did Aaron Rodgers, the headline says third pick of the night. Did Aaron Rodgers pick his nose and eat it with 1 minute left to play?
For the second time this year, play a Thursday night game against Houston on Halloween.
at MetLife.
No, that is inconclusive.
No, dude, he ate it.
You know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I would call him out. That is inconclusive. He wasn't picking. He was scratching.
Is it because you've been there?
Houston on Halloween.
I have had similar accusations made toward me.
I'm trying to find this video.
Wait. I'll blow it up for you. Here you go. So, he's got his hand in the nose area.
He's definitely digging for some gold.
A Thursday night game.
No. His finger never enters the nasal cavity.
It never get put inside.
Cappy, you need to watch this real close.
Let me tell you something. I saw it last night.
You
we
make
studied
the call.
it like the Zapruder films.
Insertion was not complete.
Decision 2024.
Against
Is he
Houston on
eating it?
Halloween.
Oh, there it goes.
No, he totally got something and ate it.
Well, yeah, but you don't know anything about sports.
I know enough about boogers.
On Halloween at MetLife.
He ate it.
There will be a 2-5.
They're going to slow this way down. All right, so hands
And
kind
there
of.
he
There's a
goes.
scratch. That's a
There's
scratch.
a scratch. Then look, he does this thing where you kind of like.
He's wiping his mustache and then licks his fingers.
He's all
He
like,
did
"Yup."
nibble on something at the end. I don't know. I wouldn't say that his finger was inserted into his nose.
Well, I would say
but
that
he
maybe
could've-
there was one hanging.
Yeah, there
ready
might have
to
been a
go.
hanger, or maybe like how
Old
you get some.
Faithful in there.
Was it cold where they were playing last night?
No, it was fine.
Okay, because sometimes when you're out there playing, those frozen boogers can kind of build up around your nose.
Oh, by the way, there's something else you got to see with it. Speaking of the
totally
frozen
ate a
boogers,
booger.
so there's another thing. So go search Aaron Rodgers. He was like sniffing something during the game. It was like a bottle right by his nose, and it almost looks like smelling salt, but it wasn't. So he was sniffing
is this-
something, and that was also
And
trending
this was last night as well?
Oh yeah, Aaron was trending for all the wrong reasons yesterday during the Jet loss. to
nothing
the
has-
Steelers.
He's making
Yeah,
sure
watch.
it's water.
Yeah, what is that? Like,
It looks like he couldn't get it through the helmet.
Okay, it looks like he's never tried to drink a bottled water with a helmet on. Like it's a first time deal for him. He's like, well, wait a second, this ought to work.
Like
it's
He's
like
all,
his,
maybe through this hole over here.
right. He's trying to stick the water. I don't think he's
square
sniffing it.
peg goes into a round hole.
But I would understand this if it was Gronk or somebody. But this is bizarre.
He can't figure out how to drink the water.
Maybe they switched to new bottles that are wider.
Why
at the-
is this one too short?
This bottle fit through my square.
Also,
I
don't
thought
they
that
have
bottle-
trainers with those squirt bottles and they will squirt it directly
That is
into your
not,
mouth?
That is not water to drink. I am convinced that is something in there that he is smelling to maybe open up some, maybe his.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
So-
hold on.
Yeah, he's putting that.
Yeah, but
I'll
at one
give it
point
to
he
you
tries to
in
make.
that first one, but then when he tries to put it through the other square holes, it just looks like he doesn't know how to drink water.
Well, what was definitive when he started to use his tongue to try and get it in?
He's almost
You'll notice it's
get
right by
water.
It's right by his nose.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
It's by his nose. It's not by his mouth. So I don't
Maybe
know what
he had some more boogers he was
He
collecting.
had more boogers he
It
wanted
was,
to
a, it,
get
was
out.
a, it was a tough night for Aaron Rodgers off the field. It really was. It was
his
Oh
difficult.
man, I came to the game without my neti pot.
L.A. Al says, good morning. They are called sugar boogers.
Sugar boogers.
Well, I know what booger
sugar is, yeah.
I don't know about sugar boogers. So I gotta bring this up real quick. So Donald Trump, every day that I was gone on vacation, man, every day I'd turn on the news long enough to see something just truly bizarre. You know, whether
Like his dance party.
that went on for like half an hour, I'm told. The joke about Arnold Palmer's dong is bizarre. But he also did some very alarming things on a different level, like saying that there are enemies within that the National Guard or the Army might have to take care of. And when he said it, he gave examples, Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. And then...
Do you know Hitler did use the phrase enemies within?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's just...
He was talking about
the Jews.
But
right, it's dictator talk.
Yeah.
It's dictator talk. So then somebody like Glenn Youngkin, who's a Republican governor, had to go on and soft pedal this, try and make it, hey, it's not what he was talking about. He got in a confrontation with Jake Tapper on CNN about it.
Mr. Trump used over the weekend. What do you think of this idea of, quote, we have some sick people, radical left lunatics, and I think it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, the National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military. Is that something that you support?
Jake, first of all, thank you for having me. And I guess what I want to just make very clear is that it's my belief that what former President Trump is talking about are the people that are coming over the border, that in fact are committing crimes, that are bringing drugs, that are trafficking humans, and that are turning every state into a border state. And I'm a governor of a state that is not near the southern border, and yet I see the impacts of 10 million people illegally coming across the border every
Okay, so Jake Tapper, you can tell he's running out of patience. He's got to interrupt because that's not
the question I asked.
Trump was very specifically not talking about. He was talking about immigrants, and he said they're not as bad as the enemy within, and that's when he changed. And Jake Tapper's not going to let somebody like Glenn Youngkin bulldoze him like that.
Border crisis. Obviously, there are too many criminals who should not be in this country, and they should be jailed and deported completely. But that's not what I'm talking about, because he was talking about sick people, radical left lunatics who should be handled by the National Guard or the military. And then later on in that same speech, he said that one of the lunatics he addressed was Congressman Adam Schiff. That's who he was talking about using the National Guard and military against, radical left lunatics, enemy from within, people like Adam Schiff.
Again, Jake, I don't think that and again, I can't.
I'm just reading
I can't
you his
speak
quotes.
for him, but I do think that you are misinterpreting and misrepresenting his thoughts. I do believe, again, it's all around the fact that we have had an unprecedented.
Okay, so he's got surrogates like Glenn Youngkin and his vice presidential candidate saying, no, he wasn't talking about against Americans. So they got to go out and do that. And then he goes on Fox News Sunday and does this.
The bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
This was on Sunday after a week of these people going out and saying, no, that's
you
got to
misinterpret what he's saying.
That's got to make you want to just stick your head in an oven, right? Like you have to go out and defend the BS he says, and then he, the very next day, turns around and completely contradicts you.
Because they can't let that happen.
All right. There's Mike Johnson saying, no, he's talking about, no, he's not. He's talking about people who disagree with him politically. That's not even limited to Democrats. He would save most of his ire for former Republicans or current Republicans who went against him. So really spooky, scary stuff.
Interesting week.
We got to take a break. Also, Trump worked the fries at a McDonald's because bizarrely he's claiming that of all the things he could attack Kamala Harris for, he believes she never worked at McDonald's. It's the great Golden Arches controversy.
People are calling it his Michael Dukakis moment.
No.
Because he looks so ridiculous in an apron handing out fries.
He looks ridiculous on his best day, okay? Yeah, I mean, just with the makeup and the hair.
I missed you. They didn't want to talk to me about this kind of stuff.
Oh, well, I'm fully open to talk about it because it's getting to, the point where I would imagine there are a lot of people like Nancy Pelosi who've got some kind of escape plan in mind, some kind of exit plan. All right, take a break. We'll come back, wrap things up. One more segment to go on the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10,
YEAR for a per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Joanna, what time?
57.
57. All right. Boy.
She's going to murder you someday.
We barely scratched the surface on everying I want to talk about
You
today.
barely got back, and look at this.
Look how
blood
stressed
pressure
Joanna
is
is.
already bad.
We're okay. So got a couple of things from last night's Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. That happened last night. They'll edit it, and eventually, like 2 months from now or in January, they'll have it on TV. But we got some of the audio.
It's not on Disney Plus? It aired on Disney Plus.
Oh, did it air live?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going by the way they've always done it. They'd have the ceremony, and then a couple months later, they'd have it on TV.
I was reading an article. I don't know who was tearing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to pieces for being like. They're the bands that haven't been in, like Judas Priest and for
Judas Priest is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Dave Matthews Band
right,
is?
like they were just really tearing them apart.
Jelly Roll performed in honor of Ozzy Osbourne. He did the Ozzy song "Mama, I'm Coming Home," and people are saying that something, and I quote, went horribly wrong. So I'm going to play the first part of it. Really, he hit a sour note, and I definitely have a thought on that.
Times have changed and times are strange.
There's Jelly Roll here.
Here I come, but
We all love Jelly Roll.
We love Jelly. We love the roll.
Mama, I'm coming home.
Okay, it says here, if you want to get to the part where he screws up, go to 142. Here it goes. It should be coming up. That's not it. That's not.
The sunshine, yeah. 'Cause mama, I'm coming home.
I didn't hear it.
Wait.
Oh, there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Care about the sunshine, yeah. 'Cause mama, I'm coming home.
That lets me know that the artist is actually performing live.
Yeah.
You know, when I see somebody on stage with a tiny little microphone and they're swinging by a vine and they're running across the stage and then somehow they sing without being out of breath, my BS sensor goes off. I am dubious. I look askance at those performers.
Did you hear about the Jelly Roll story where he went to Walmart to buy one of his albums?
And the employee didn't know who
he was. Yeah.
I can't believe there's anybody in a Walmart in America who doesn't know who Jelly Roll is. Peter Frampton, who I've already told Joanna she should Spotify the entire Frampton Comes Alive double album, listen to it because it's one of my favorite albums and one of my most listened to albums.
Have you ever interviewed Peter Frampton?
Oh, yeah, many times. Yeah. In person, too. So Frampton went in last night. Peter Frampton got started when he was like 16, 17 years old. And he was up there with Roger Daltrey of The Who inducted Peter Frampton into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he's telling a funny story about how The Who kind of broke them in to the rock and roll lifestyle.
One night, backstage, Keith Moon and John Entwistle had decided to show me the rock ropes and take me under their collective wing. Every time in the Herd's dressing room, I went near the window and looked out. All the girls would start screaming down below. The next thing I knew, I was being dangled out of the third-story window by my ankles. I was 17. Welcome to rock and roll.
That was Daltrey laughing in the background. Joanna, you need to listen to this.
You told me.
And then he does the voice talk, you know, when it's a guitar and it's like, I wanna run you. And he starts doing that. It's really, really great. How about just a couple of calls that we have not yet gotten to? Some of these go back to last week, so I'm not really sure what's being talked about here.
Hey, what's up, guys? First time caller here.
Hey.
I go by the name of Warm Chorizo.
Warm Chorizo.
Warm?
That's better than cold.
This is a question regarding the 18th of Friday, where you guys were talking about Hear Me Out, and Nico was talking about Lola being an attractive rabbit. I kind of agree with him. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Zootopia, but Judy Hopps, Hear Me Out, plumpy size, and they humanize her to the point where she looks almost human.
Mm-hmm. You got thick thighs.
But, yeah, Judy Hopps. All right, guys. Take care.
That's a good hear me out.
Okay, wait, Buzz, we were doing...
Who is the more...
Hotter bunny?
Who is the more cartoon bunny? I don't know if Jessica
Lola.
Rabbit counts. She's
not
a
a-
rabbit by
she's-
marriage.
by She has a little rabbit in her.
Yeah, about 2 inches. It's not much, but he can do it over and over and over and over again. Patty cake, patty cake.
We missed you.
Let's see.
What's up, Mo Show? Just a quick comments on a couple things. I wonder who in the Trump campaign told him to go to McDonald's, man. What was my boy doing there, man? Passing out fries and burgers. He looks like Ronald McDonald that moved up and corporate, and now he came down to visit the stores.
There are plenty of memes on this. Trump worked to fry because part of his narrative is that Kamala is such a phony, she's lying about having worked at McDonald's in 1981.
And that he's worked hard
and
jobs.
now I've worked hard jobs. Look at me loiter around this French fry machine.
I don't know who told him to do that, but thanks for the laugh, man. And another thing, today's early voting here in El Paso, and this is the first time I'm going to vote. I'm 46, and sadly I'd never done it, but I'm going to do it this time.
Well, when you're just released.
This time this guy really scares me if he wins, man. All right.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
First time voter,
It takes a lot to admit you've gone this far in your life and you're going to vote for the first time. It
good
really
job.
says something.
Hey, I got to tell you something, though, buddy. Since you were gone, I'm glad you're back.
Mm-hmm.
What everybody tells me the same thing. Me and Joanna think it all the time. What you do couldn't be hard at all. What you do must be easy.
I mean, I've never said that for sure.
What you do is very hard.
I have help, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about 5 Points Guy.
Good morning, Buzz. This is Donald McDonald calling in. Fun Fact Monday. I am the first president to come out on a reality TV show, and I am also the first president to work at a McDonald's, and I'm also the first convicted felon to work at McDonald's.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt that for sure.
Thousands upon thousands of people came to visit me, and I got to hand out free food. The French fries never touched my hands, not once. Human hands never touched the French fries. If I'm elected president, I promise to give every American a free French fry subscription to McDonald's. And then everyone can go to a Scaredy Park and feed the ducks French fries. They never touched human hands. They never did, not once. And I'll bring back the dollar menu. Not only will I bring back the dollar menu, but I will also make sure that McDonald's starts using beef tallow to fry their French fries.
Yeah, good.
That never come into contact with human hands, not even when you put them in the bag. Unbelievable.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Good to hear about it. Here you go.
Welcome to McDonald's, Trumps. What can I get you?
Yeah, I'd like a double cheeseburger and an order of fries.
Would you like a large fry or a huge fry?
Huge fries sounds fine, I guess.
Would you like to make that a tremendous huge fry for 39 cents?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Wow, a big, beautiful double cheeseburger and a tremendous huge fry. A big, beautiful fry. And Mexico's gonna pay for it. That I can tell you.
That's the show for today. The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
See you tomorrow, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
In the meantime, you can